Hey, hey, don't know if anyone's going to come in. I've never streamed this early. Let me start off cam, no makeup today. Anyway, hmm, yeah, no makeup today. No hair done. I look awful. Um, but I'm going to take you into the intro and we'll see what happens. I'm trying to figure out a streaming schedule now that school started back up.
Home in the darkness, home on the highway, home isn't my way, home I'll never be. Burn out the day, burn out the night. Can't see no reason to put up a fight. I'm living for giving the devil his due. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. Time is the essence, time is the season. Time ain't no reason, got no time to show. Time everlasting, time to play beside. Time ain't on my side, time I'll never know. Burn out the day, burn out the night. Now I want to tell you what's wrong from what's right. I've seen suns that were freezing and lives that were blue. But I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. Burn out the day, burn out the night. Can't see no reason to put up a fight. I'm living for giving the devil his due. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you. I'm burning, I'm burning, I'm burning for you.
I'm trying it to see with the new work schedule with the kids, with school and everything else. I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't even know if I'll have an audience, but worth a shot, right? I think evenings are going to be my best time. It's just really hard to do before 8 o'clock with the kids because then I miss that last hour with them and I don't get much time with them after school. By the time they come home, they do whatever homework if they have it, or then we do dinner and everything. It's 8 o'clock bedtime. By the time we do showers and everything, I mean, they don't even get home till 4:30 or later. I don't know. I'll work it out. But whatever works for you people in the audience. Hey, Tap Test. Good morning. Good to see you. Hey, Beer Can. Hey, Ava. Hey, Jay. Hey, Heather. My husband's probably like, what is she doing? Hey, Juno. Hey, T. Christina Logan. Hi, Natalie. Clover. Darla. Convicted counselor. There's some of those going to be happening today. Yeah, chap, did you see? Yeah, we're going to discuss that. That's why I'm live this morning. I was going to go live last night, but it was by the time every burnt toasting was done, it was too late. And yeah, I didn't think so I figured I'd do it this morning. Hey, Marie. Hey, Andy. Hey, Darwin. Doxy's in the house. Catherine. Hey, Step, not that Step, don't side eye me. Sal T. Hi, Amy. Lady Starfire, morning. Wise Angel. See something, say something. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Grammy's Place is here. Hey, Mal. Good to see you. Hey, the other Michelle. Glenda and Wise Angel. Hey, Remy, morning. Hey, Seeker. You guys, okay, couple changes real quick. And then I want to get into this because another reason I chose to come early is because there's a lot of people that come on in the morning that I like to watch. And you all know I'm a savage. I like, while I don't agree with what she said, you, you, you know, yeah. Anyway, hey, Daddy's baby girl. Hey, Dragonfly. Hey, Helen. Good to see you. Hey, Mystic Butterfly. Hi, Language of Horses. As you can see, a member, one of us misfits, made us some badges. They are the cutest. They are the best. So we now have badges and emojis for our Misfit Pulsi group. I think they're adorable. Hey, Amy, number 26. Yeah. Hey, girl next door, Music City Mom. The song, my intro was made for me. She's a creator. She has a channel. I don't know if she still posts. Um, but she sang that song. She redid that song. It took her a lot to get YouTube to not copyright it. She had to change it up so much. And she's the one singing it and she's the one playing it. Um, her name is T Kelly. She has her channel is T Kelly Music. I'll put that all in the description after. She's very talented. Very talented. Hey Mickey. Hey Blank Screen. Hey Be Still. I don't know if she's still around, but she did an awesome job on that intro. She really did. Two boys, mama. Oh, two boys. Yikes. One is so rough. Hey Meg. Hey, it's me, Tiffany. You know, Betty, you're running your trap. You're running your trap. I know you're still avoiding service, so I question if you even have an attorney because an attorney would not avoid service and can take service for you. So I questioned if you've actually retained said attorney as of yet. But you're running your big mouth about how you're going to Tennessee a couple days early so you can research the bridges and Chris, Chris Proudfoot. Yeah. Well, don't you, law enforcement's probably got a pretty good eye on you, Betty. So, you really think you're something, you think you're going to be able to stage this to get you that viral video you so badly want? I mean, that's all your life consists of. Oh, banana bicycle seat. Good morning. You got a Poolside Misfit badge. Aren't they cool? Hey, Danielle. Yeah, we're going to go over that. We're going to go over that. She's beyond. Welcome to Poolside. Thanks for renewing, Andy. And thank you, Banana Bicycle Seat. 3 months. Y'all, that's a long time. Thank you. Princess Leona. Question: Can Tennessee law enforcement grab her in Illinois for skipping court? Skipping court. Um, what they would do is they would have law enforcement in that town um, pick her up. If there's a warrant for her arrest, it doesn't matter where she is. They can choose to pick her up. They can choose to extradite. It's up to Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee's going to play with Betty because she's purposely doing this shit. And it's so obvious. But she's bragging about how she's going a couple days early now because, see, what she's really doing is she's trying to cover her ass for her chat and her subs because there was no protest. This started out as a bike run for the shelter, for one of the animal shelters. Then it was, well, let's do a vigil afterwards for Sebastian. Let's say this. Let's add his name to this run, and then the next thing you know, Betty, who was not involved in any of it in any way, inserted herself and decided to do this protest to free Seth. To uh, free him from any suspicion in this case, to clear him, demanding, and you've heard it, I played it, demanding that law enforcement clear Seth, demanding they do forensics, dumbass. Been telling you for freaking months, the forensics, what they needed to do were already done. Um, demanding law enforcement do their job, which they have done their job. Um, she's just disgusting. Then Betty goes to a whole new low, which, hey, I see you are in. I always say that there's a low Betty won't go to, and nothing should surprise me. But however, there's things Betty does that surprise me to this day. Hey, Mickey 44, member for 4 months. I'm gonna get uh, I think a 6 month pet. But thank you. Wow, you've been around too. Thank you. Hey, Earth Angel. Hey, Weeping Waters. Wine Crime to Mayhem. How are you? It's good to see you. Good morning, Gary. I like your name, Princess Diana. I don't want to ruin your name, but that new sub. Oh, well, thank you and welcome to Poolside. You are a Poolside Misfit. That's what we are here. Deborah Army. Good morning. Hey, Deborah. I see you are in the house. I miss those days. What unit you work? You did a rating on her. She's got no lawyer. She is the biggest fraudster on YouTube. God help her when Mr. Musk buys out YouTube. Oh, it'll turn into nothing but prawn then. I will do some gifting if we get the numbers up. Okay, guys, you heard Tap Test say it. All right? You heard the woman speak. Get them thumbs up. It's not a me thing, it's a YouTube thing. We got to appease the boss. YouTube wants the thumbs up, We got to give them what they want. Heck, I forget to do it 99% of the time. Yeah, I'm terrible about that. But we get them thumbs up, then when this video gets into their algorithm and people know what kind of a trauma vulture Betty really is, and how much of a liar she is. But this thumbnail, y'all have seen this thumbnail, have you not? Let me share screen. I've shared it on my community tab. I think a lot of people have shared it with good reason. Okay. Look at this thumbnail right here. The second thumbnail. Okay. Did Katie Proudfoot do the unthinkable? And she has an AI version of Katie and Chris with a bloody scene. How's that okay? Um, Mods, can you drop links, please? Thank you. Do I have mods? Yeah, it's me. Amberly's in here. Tiffany, she knows how to do it. Helen knows how to do it. Do y'all need some help? We can drop my link, the membership links. In my opinion, the parents had nothing to do with it. I haven't seen any proof to tell me that even though I may not care for some of their antics, some of their behavior, that's not evidence that they did anything to the child. That just means they sometimes exhibit poor behavior. I mean, it doesn't make them guilty of a crime that hasn't even been committed or declared. Hey, Lynn Light. Yeah, she wants everybody to use their kids to do. Okay. Betty doesn't even understand what a pickle bag is. And you're going to see, right? You're going to see because they're going to demonstrate it. And even
why did we buy life insurance? To help.
Sees that how ridiculous her theory is. She's still going to run with the pickle bag and she's going to make excuses why it didn't fit what her narrative. I've been trying to tell her from the that, yeah. And number one, she doesn't even know Katie has a sea bag or had a sea bag. She has no idea. But she's been telling people that it's missing because that's what she used to transport Sebastian. Sebastian was 15. He wasn't no little dude. He was tall. He was a gangly teenager, very tall. Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. I've been trying to tell her. I even tried to joke about it and put a backpack pickle bag in a thumbnail and stuff, thinking she would, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter with Betty. Hey, Chico, good to see you. Don't forget, guys, hit that thumbs up for me. That's a YouTube thing, I'm telling you. If we don't appease YouTube, there won't be a pull side of misfits. It's seriously, I can honestly tell you that is not a me thing. That is a YouTube thing. No, I'm kidding. Hit them. I hit that. I got to remind my damn self. I'm trying to remind everybody else. YouTube, you put too much weight on me, man. I can barely remember myself to hit a like button for, you know. And then it took me a minute to even hit the like buttons for me because I didn't think we were supposed to hit our own like buttons. But hell, I do it now when I remember. It's dumb. Hey, pick me. Hey, Kathy514. Is the pickle bag same as a rucksack? It's their gear bags, where they keep their gear. There's yeah, it's a sea bag in the Navy and the Coast Guard. It's the duffel bag. And she's been saying that Katie's is missing. And she knows this. I don't even know how she knows she has one. Yeah. Let alone to know if it's missing. I mean, she's never even been in that house. Hey, Maureen. So, yeah. God, my breathing is terrible today. They need to give me an expectorant to dry up this shit. It's sad when you gotta tell your doctors what you need. I need to dry this up. Okay. Oh, I don't miss working with them though. I really don't. Because I would always get stuck with the residents that barely had any English. Or not that they didn't, they just didn't care to. And oh my God, you try to decipher their prescriptions and their orders. It was, I started that. I had beautiful handwriting. I would get awards for my handwriting. Within 6 months, it was totally destroyed because you learn to write like them so that they can read you and you can understand them. You got to learn how to deal with them. I had to do rounds twice a week with them. I had to learn how to read their chicken scratch. Ugh, I don't miss that part. I remember one year for Christmas, we had a resident that didn't like grooming very well. So we brought him like a brush and comb set and stuff. Yeah. He thought it was funny. He was some Russian dude. Needless to say, he didn't use it. Hey, curious. But let's get into this trash bucket because I'll have to speed through it so that I can. And this may help me to do shorter lives. Hey, Darcy. So I don't keep you guys so long. I don't know. We'll see.
So we have a tantalizing
Hey.
conversation about the topic at hand.
Music City I believe Spanky started that about the bag. Someone in his chat said that all military people are given one, and maybe she just. Oh my gosh! I knew that's where it came from. It came from the little group. But Spanky got kicked out of Betty's club. But we're still not sure what Betty's club was, or if she really had any members. Did you all see her community post last night? Oh, let me look. Let me look real quick. Something tells me I'm not going to be a happy camper, right? Oh, Lord, Betty, what'd you do now? Okay, that was 4 days ago. There's nothing on here. The last one was about JLR working for the prop. What's 4 days ago? Did she put it on one of her other channels, maybe? She could have put it on her. She deleted it. Oh, well, I thought she wasn't allowed to dirty delete nothing. And not like since Chap Test. Oh my gosh.
Discover flexible online learning options at K-12 Private Academy.
Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, please thank Chap Test for your gifted membership. And you are now a full-size misfit. Look, you get our little one. Look, we got a badge now. Isn't it cool? One of my awesome subs and members created those. That's so touching when someone does something like that.
My name's Bullhornbetty. I cover true crime.
Thank you so much,
Chap
Tess.
Sebastian Rogers.
Hey, go Bulldogs.
He's a 15-year-old boy that disappeared from his home in Henderson.
Does anybody have a
Tennessee.
screenshot of her post? Hey, Marie. Misbehave and love the name. Does anybody have a screenshot of? Isn't Chap Test amazing? She really is. She's so supportive. Hey, wishful thinking, happy woman. Hey, Tracy. I was in and out last night because I was spending time with the hubbies and stuff. And oh, honey, don't ever apologize, Tracy. You get here when you get here. I just appreciate you coming in. Duty Ron is making some serious calls this morning. Oh, I'm gonna have to check it out. I like him. I like Duty Ron.
Where he was locked away, according to his mother, with only his mother. She said she woke up.
He wasn't locked away, you idiot. Why do you twist things? People go to bed, Betty. When they go to bed, they lock their doors. I keep my door locked even during the day, which is stupid because I sit out back at the pool. So, yeah, this screen isn't,
the next morning.
It doesn't matter if the front door's locked because I'm out back where anybody can get to me. Makes sense? Not at all. But people lock their doors. You're making it sound like this kid was kept locked up, and he was not. Stop twisting things. Did you ever hear of facts?
Around 9 a.m. or excuse me, 6 a.m. and he was gone. All the doors and windows were locked. Hey, Cheeky Chops, me and you, Crystal Pistol. It's nice to see everyone. The real me too. We got Delilah present. Thank God she calmed down. I appreciate everybody trying to give me training advice for my dog. I will tell you that the dog's going to turn out the way ever she's going to turn out. We're going to live our life kind of snagging your damn slipper than they ate a damn puppy. So lay off. It's nice to see you today. I thought I did a swell job to take half our talking points. It didn't really piss a lot of people off. Let's be honest,
Okay.
right?
Y'all notice something? Yeah, I have the thumbnail. I was talking about the community post. Someone had said something, hey, Ariana, that there was a community post that she took down that she put up last night, and I didn't see it. So, geez, you got to have on YouTube to catch everything. You got to have eyes in the back of your head, eyes in the side of your head, eyes all over you, because there's just no way to keep up with everything. I am so thankful for you guys that send me stuff, because I would miss stuff. And the stuff you make me, I just love it. And Waters, your cartoons, oh my God. And you guys are, I'm lucky.
We want to make some people a little angry, get those emotions going, because something's not right when it comes to the Sebastian Rogers case. Something doesn't add up, and it has nothing to do with Tony or Seth.
But what I wanted to tell you, what's different? What's different with Betty? What's one of the things that I've commented on? I know for a fact, Crimes and Fashion, Lisa has, in a very good way, but in a funny way, and other people have. Betty's awful curtains. So she's covered her window with what she's claiming is her green screen to do videos, but she's never used it before. I've never seen it before. I can't say I've never seen it before. I think it's covering that window. I think she got tired of hearing about her curtains, and she's covering her curtains. Just my opinion.
See, Sebastian Rogers, he was out with his mother the day before. He was out with his mother
Hey,
for the weekend.
Michelle.
It was a little weird why she tried to pass off a Costco's photo with a photo they may have taken on Sunday. It was a little odd because she was adamant, from my understanding, that came from Sunday, and then they realized it was the Saturday on the.
Okay, Betty, no one was trying to get over on anything. This mother had one of the worst things ever happen to her in her life. Her child ran away, Betty. He's missing.
That was taken at the Costco's.
It doesn't matter. It's still one of the last pictures. You fucking idiot. You twist things that don't matter. It doesn't change anything. It's one of the last pictures taken of him. That's it. It's not that big a deal. You can't find nothing else. You have nothing. Receipts, or it didn't happen.
Leading a lot of people to wonder, why would she pass it off as that day? She would have known where they were that day. She would have known when that picture.
Probably because her son just went missing, and her son's never went missing before, and she's panicked because she can't find him, and she's there, alone. Her husband is out of town. I just really don't know why she would make such a tragic mistake. Are you fucking kidding me? It was a current picture. That's what matters. Quit twisting it into something it's not.
Was taken on that Sunday. I mean, it's kind of hard. I can understand if it was a week away, but just being the day before and the day before that,
Gary,
right, even down to the photo that you provide. If you lock a dog up in confinement and leave the dog, will negatively associate with.
Hey, Hope for Snoopy and Serial Boomer in the house.
Kennel, yeah. Well, I just had to run an errand. I could
tell I'd like to put you in a kennel.
She didn't like it.
Okay. Well, how about this, Betty? I'm not a kennel person with dogs. Each to his own. But you're always whining about Delilah in this kennel. I got an offer for you. Why don't you get in the kennel and sleep there for the night? and see how it feels to her. Put yourself in her place. You can't get out. I'm just saying, she's just a baby. It's probably, I don't know. Yeah, my dog would never shut up. He'd be out there. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. Because he's just spoiled and entitled. He just really is. He thinks he runs this house. He needs to check himself sometimes. But he really does run this house. But anyway, Delilah might run yours, but you try it and tell me what it feels like. I challenge you to get in the cage, shut that door, and stay in there for one night. And then you'll know what Delilah's going through. Because, you act about that way. So, let me know if you try it, Betty. You seem to like to try things out. Like a double bag that don't work.
When I came back, she was crying. Like, no, actually, in a row. The first night she did okay. She cried most of the night, and then when she was finally taken out, she literally held on to me and would.
Okay, how did she hold on to you? How did she hold on to you? Okay, I don't care. Like I said, Betty, I challenge you to put yourself in little Delilah's place, lock your damn ass in that cage for tonight, and see how you do. See how you like it. I'm just saying, you want to know what she's going through? There you go. It works, right? I mean, what else do you tell her? Hey, veteran 13, coconut. My dog was kennel trained. Yeah, I've just never personally used them. I don't, I'm just saying, she's always complaining about the poor doggy. And I feel for that puppy. And that puppy is so cute. Oh my goodness. And as long as that puppy's getting her views and money, she's going to be good to that puppy. So people just keep supporting Delilah. Anyway. Hey, Brandon Barn. Hey, Heather Dawn. Listen, Betty. I lost my train of thought. I'm just saying, she's always complaining what she just spent 5 minutes doing. She needs, she does, really needs to experience what the doggy's going through. Why don't she put her ass in the cage and shut the freaking door and lock herself in there all night long and let her see how she likes it? Then she'll know how the doggy's doing. I mean, I don't know what else to tell her. She likes to do experiments.
Not stop crying for literally an hour, and I just thought that was a little too traumatic. Okay, it was traumatic for me to see her like that. Okay, so I just, and she's just a puppy.
So you left her cry and carry on for hours in the cage, and then you took her out and she attached to you and wouldn't let go. I'm still trying to figure out how. And then she continued to cry for another hour. Well, maybe it's too traumatic for her and you should put her in the cage. I don't know. I mean, like I said, try it out for yourself, Bets.
I mean, she did the puppy, and she's so good. She would shoot any wires.
Oh, I can't.
A little bit. Start to move over to her little thing. We'll see if she stays calm. Oh, I didn't want to do that again. Not only that, her and I, we kind of have, a thing. Everybody's happy and it's hunky dog theory. Oh, well, thank you. Well, we're probably have to send her to you for some boot camp. I mean, she does need to be trained. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, she's not a bad dog. Their dogs off like after. So, and she's perfect, super sweet. She's super overstimulated Sebastian on, February 25th. When he had, overexerted him or overstimulated Sebastian on.
Who said he was overstimulated? I haven't heard that from anybody but you. Your little group. You proud foot bashers. That's what I call you. You proud foot bashers, because you're bashing innocent people. There's no evidence they did anything. Just like there's no evidence for the Seth bashers that Seth did anything other than the behavior that we can see him doing. But when it comes to Sebastian, there's no evidence of anybody doing anything. None. Absolutely none.
February 25th, which was the Sunday before he disappeared. It was just the few hours before he disappeared, as a matter of fact. And it was really weird because none of us at the very beginning really knew what was going on. We didn't know, what over for most of us, all right? I mean, I understand that a lot of parents, because I was reading it.
Okay, number one, they did these kind of activities on the weekends regularly. You know why, Betty? Because they actually have jobs, 9 to 5 plus jobs. And Chris works out of town. So, yeah, it wasn't uncommon for them to do their running around on the weekends or go, have some family activities. It's not uncommon for most families, Betty. Parents work during the week. You'd hate my house on the weekends. There's some weekends we start at 6 in the morning and don't stop till 8, 9 o'clock at night. And then there's, some weekends we only do half that, but there's never a weekend where we don't do nothing because I always have errands to run or something to do. Especially with kids. You have no clue. You really have no clue.
They thought, well, he's autistic. That sounded like an
Hey,
overstimulated
J-Dog.
day, an overstimulated day. I didn't even know what overstimulating did to an autistic child. It seemed like it would zonk them out and not wake up, type of thing. But it's just the opposite. It amps them up and makes it harder for them to go to sleep. But I didn't know that at the time we saw the green shirt interview. And when we saw the green shirt interview, I thought I picked up on a couple, things. If you go back to that very first impression, you'll see I didn't like the way she laughed after he went to bed. Basically she said he went to bed without a problem. And I said,
Betty, you don't know jack shit about body language. Reading the half a page of a preface of a book does not make you an expert. You have no training and no experience in the field. You actually, none of the hats you claim you do. That was a mother who was very distraught, who's not used to being in front of the camera, going through the worst thing of her life. Her son's missing. Couldn't be that she was nervous, stressed, totally out of her mind thinking about her son. Couldn't be none of that, right? Okay.
It's kind of odd that she says it like that. I bet you he has a problem going to bed. And that was just none of we didn't
Heck,
know.
my daughter goes through it. She's ADHD, and there's some nights I'll put her to bed at 8:30, and at 10 o'clock she's still awake. It doesn't happen that often when school's going on because she's tired from the day. But it does happen. And last night was an example. She was still up at 9:45. It happens, Betty. But it's not because a parent did anything.
It's just something that fell out of my mouth. And come to find out that sounds to be true. Then we're starting to learn about this case a little bit
Oh my
more. And a lot of
God,
people
Betty,
hung
nothing
on to the
you
fact that
say
they
is
don't believe
true.
Sebastian made it home. I do. I'm one of the people that do believe he made it home. I am one of the people that do believe that he's the one that took out the garbage. And I do believe after he took out the garbage, he went directly to his room. And
right,
whether or
Remy.
not Katie saw him that night or
Hey,
not, or
Cameron.
whether they were fighting that night because he was overstimulated. Another thing I didn't know at the time we were hearing these interviews was the,
Again, there's no proof that anybody was fighting. Where's the receipts of all this, Betty? Where's the receipts of all your accusations? Where is your proof? You were not in that home that night. You have no idea what was going on because you refused to listen to the person who was in that home. You're a tunnel rat.
kids that are overstimulated and can't sleep or things like that can have meltdowns or be set off a little bit easier as well. And it led us to believe that maybe something actually transpired in this home because we knew at this.
Okay, it led you to believe that something transpired because he went shopping and to get snacks and groceries with his mother, and he went bowling. Betty.
Point that something wasn't feeling right. We felt like we weren't getting the whole story from Chris and Katie. We didn't.
No. I didn't feel that way.
Whether
I didn't feel that way. I knew we weren't going to get the whole story because law enforcement's not going to put out certain facts, Betty, in an active open investigation. But what I don't do is get on here and make them up as I go along and accuse innocent parents of doing something horrible.
What it was, we just felt that we weren't getting the whole story, and a lot of professionals that deal with behavior analysis started believing that they threw Sebastian out the door and
Oh
basically
my
locked it behind him. He
Lord.
must have just went on, went somewhere and something happened. I never really believed that because I was looking at Chris and Katie at first. I was looking at them like, are they really
Yeah.
legit?
That is a point. I am so tired of them using his autism to define him because it doesn't. He's a human being. He's a 15-year-old boy. His autism is just one of the many things about him, but it doesn't define him the way they use it. Pisses me off.
that about their son. And so it took me a little while because, I was kind of going through something when this case was breaking, right? And I was
Hey,
trying to deal with some
Chatty.
personal issues. I thought maybe
Welcome to Poolside. You are now a Poolside misfit, and you can be any kind of misfit you want. Hey, Phoenix. Look at all the badges in the chat. Hey, C. Nikki. Hey, Tracy, retired FBI agent. We need you today. Tell Betty you got the badge.
I was overanalyzing this. I diverted. At this time there was
Chat
a
test. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Poolside. You are now a Poolside misfit. Please thank Chap Test for your gifted membership. She is amazing. But we have a fully stocked bar. Yeah. I mean, it's probably overstocked because I'm ridiculous. I don't drink this 95% of this stuff, but hey, it's there. People do. I like me some really cold fireball. But rarely. But they're nice once in a great while. We got adult gummies. I make some. Oh, I got to get the gummy recipe out. There's 2 people that want it. I just remembered. I will make sure I do that today. I will make sure I do that today. Yeah. We got brownies. And then we got some, just regular kind of goodies. But thank you again, Chap.
panel that was going to be coming out with their suggestions on what they think's going on. They were giving the Chris and Katie favorable results, and I was like, I don't get it. I just don't feel it. I didn't like the behaviors panel's analysis of this case, and I still don't. And they still never redid it, and they still never retracted it. And it just makes me wonder why they haven't, because obviously their analysis was wrong. Then we kind of start hearing a little more.
Yeah, just if I don't shoot me an email so I can email it to you. It's really simple. You guys will. Where do you see how simple it is? Instead of the multiple step way and the more ingredients than you need step ways that I got off of YouTube and stuff back in the day. Yeah, no, this is very simple. 3 ingredient, you're done. You got your jello, your gelatin, your water, and then your THC, and you're done. It's so easy. Just combine it all, you're done. And then I just use syringe to fill my gummy tray. Then if you do it fast enough, you get it all. There you go. Thank you, Hope.
Detail about the night before, about this 3-hour phone call, and about Katie being on the couch sleeping, talking, studying, and we're like, who could do that? Like, in my 20s, I had 2 jobs. I was going to night school and I was partying. I mean, if you're talking to a person that can, juggle some balls in their younger years, I could do it. Now, I'm 45 years old. She's, right around my age. Well, she's a little bit younger than me. Wow, she looks a little older. Anyways.
You got the nerve. Are you freaking kidding me? You got the nerve to sit there and say under your breath, she looks older than me. No, Katie doesn't. Katie doesn't look older than you, Betty. And like I've always said, I was One of the things that shocked me about you was your age, because I thought you were closer to my age. I was, and I'm going to be 61 in a couple weeks. I thought you was closer to my age, but nah. Katie does not look older than you, and you don't look better. Sorry, it is what it is. Just like with Magnolia, you're so jealous of any woman. You are so jealous of any woman.
Oh, you see, you're looking at her and you're like, this doesn't look like a lady that can do all of this. I mean, how do you study, sleep, and talk on the phone? This is like the first stuff that says something's not right here, right? Something's not right. And then the way Chris was all like adamant that
right.
Sebastian was going to come walking through that door. He just knew he was going to come walking through that door. And it's like, dude, you weren't even in the house. You have no idea what the hell happened here, allegedly. Yet you just know for a fact he's going to walk in the house. And then we learn that, he's saying, oh, he has to be further north. He has to be further north. And it's like, Chris is pointing everybody to the furthest place from their house and trying to expect them to believe he's actually looking for his stepson. Then we start getting information from the neighbors saying, hey, there's not so much, there's a little more going behind all of this than meets the eye. And we started hearing some rumblings of some of the things the neighbors had heard Chris and Katie argue about that spilt outside of their home. And one of those things is the demand, the ultimatum of Christopher Proudfoot telling Katie it's either her son or him. And he storms off.
Well, you know what? I have to admit, this morning, I didn't shut my camera off, and then I turned it back on. I'm looking rough. That's why I turned it off. No makeup. Hair's combed, but not done. So, I guess I can't say much about, but at least I combed my hair and washed my face and brushed my teeth and took out my thing. And yeah, I just didn't put makeup or nothing on. But that's why I shut the camera off real quick. But Betty, yeah, I'm going to have to step it up. I can't do it.
So, I think it is proper to look at this case and say, wait a minute, there was only one person around this boy. Were there several people around that boy over the weekend? Okay, we'll give it that. But they were there, for a few. Another person over here for a few. But none of them were ever really with them for an extended period of time during that whole weekend. It was just Katie and Sebastian. That's it. So when you go back to the house and you start hearing Mom saying, oh, he went to his room. And I told him to go to bed around 9. So he says, good night, Mommy. Good night, puppies. It's like he was in his room from 6:30 to 9. And you're falling asleep on the couch and talking on the phone and studying, which I think defies all odds. And you're starting to say, why would this lady be lying about this? And why did she make a 3-hour phone call?
Wine Crime and Mayhem says, Hepper, I worked on my second degree, taught school, raced cars, all while trying to live life to the fullest. I have slowed down with age, but I still live life to the fullest, so don't go there. I hear you. Good for you. Hey, Running Bear.
And why was it at such a weird time? And why didn't Chris ever talk about hearing that
in a busy hospital, have 2 kids as a single mom and a Labradoodle. Oh, I love them. I work unlike this lot. Yep. I hear you. I see you. Yep. She doesn't know what a real job is. Or, when you have a family, my husband works hard all week. And on the weekend, and he works a weird shift, so it is hard to go anywhere. But on the weekends, we have to do, you do what you do, and the kids look forward to the weekends. Hey, Linda, it gives the kids something to look forward to. Like, we're going to the beach again this weekend. They love going to the beach, so we're going to go to the beach again. But I also have a bunch of shit I got to get done around the house, and errands I got to run, and
when he was on the phone, and he said she was dozing off. Well, she was dozing off, and she hears it at 10:30.
I'm not exactly sure what the hell it is. All I know is she's using the excuse it's her green screen for recording videos. I think she's just covering them curtains because she's tired of getting poked at about the curtains. Same thing she did with her office. She moved the copy machine because she was tired of getting poked about it. Yeah, they love the beach and it's free. It's a fun time though. It's a family time.
It would have been 45 minutes from the time she called.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got to have my husband grab a case of water on his way to work. Yeah, I'm glad I talked about it because now I remember I need a case of water.
It definitely been, right in the middle of a conversation. Why didn't he ever talk about hearing this thump or thud? But that's not really why I'm here. We have some information that
Again, that's not how she described it in the beginning because no one asked her to say what what it sounded like. She was actually asked in an interview to best describe the sound she heard, and that's what she said. She's not used to being interviewed. A thud could be very light, Betty. It could be a thump. It could be oh, I can't with this woman.
conversations that people are posting. We have a Facebook group that's called Justice for Sebastian Rogers.
Hey,
if you guys
Teresa.
have not been over to this Justice for Sebastian Rogers, is a public group. And, we do moderate the chat. So don't go over there, being nasty to the people in the chat. But,
in other words, don't go over there disagreeing with me because I'm the head honcho and you will be kicked. But I cried for days and days about being kicked out of JLR's group.
Have some people that think outside of the box, some people that put their own perspective in there, some people that put their own theories in there. This for everybody and kind of have a conversation. It's nice to see you, Pebbles. Pepper, it's nice to see you, Bobby. Has anyone ever wondered if Chris took off 17 hours to prepare Sebastian for his parents? I don't know. His parents were already gone when he took off for the 17 hours, from my understanding. Potentially. Possibly. Maybe not. I thought they took off like 2 days later. I got to go back to the notes on that. So this is what one contributor said.
His parents had nothing to do with him going to pick up his trailer, Betty. Why don't you watch the video? Whose panel was he on? Was it Queens? It was either Queens, Clues, or Dutchess, one of them. Because that's the only ones that I've seen him on that were reliable, not Slimies. It wasn't said there. It wasn't said on Web Sleuths, I don't think. But he broke down what he did, Betty. And you won't listen to it. You won't listen to anything.
On the Justice for Sebastian Rogers Facebook group. And it says, I've been watching this case from the beginning. Sorry. Hold on just a second. Let me turn this.
Oh.
Hi. What's your name? This is Are You?
I can breathe. Okay. It said, could be. Sorry, let me just start over from the beginning. I've been watching this case from the beginning, and one thing keeps coming to me. Could be nothing, but thought I would share. Has anyone ever thought or wondered why they're staying away from the home? I know many have said that it's due to threats and possibly true, but I keep getting is for a different reason. Anyone notice how much CP keeps or kept telling people where to look, etc.? Anyone ever thought that with CP conniving, Christopher Proudfoot's conniving ways, that he may be telling people to look at places that are not near their home, but actually the opposite?
Okay. Wow. Betty's court bra. Hey, Jana. Oh, my God. If she doesn't accept service by the 22nd, is automatically granted, correct? It could be. Or do they put out a warrant? Since the court is aware that she is purposely avoiding service, and she keeps claiming to have a lawyer, but there's nothing of record as of, I didn't check today, or I didn't check yesterday. I will check it though, but I don't. Her lawyer could take service for it, and but nothing's been that I'm aware of as of yet. But I haven't checked for a couple days. But she can also. She's saying she's going early. Hey, Jen. So people are aware she's going to be there. Of course, Betty is going to try to not tell anybody where she's at, but we already all know where she's going. And my feeling is Betty's also going to show up. She said she's going there a couple days early to research the bridges by Chris and Katie's house. Yeah, okay. Anyway, I think she's going to go where whatever they're doing for that sheriff, or swearing him in or whatever. giving him the oath. I know that's the same day, so she'll probably just go be nosy in that area prior. But she's trying to set it up to where she'll make it known she's public when they're there to do the protest. Until then, she's going to try to hide her locations. And she may even stay off social media and not post until that day. So no one knows where she is. Does she really think law enforcement don't know what kind of vehicle she drives and what her tag number is? I mean, hey Lorraine, she's not. Hey Sassy Cats, she's not thinking. Of course. But guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. You know that YouTube thing they like us to do? Yeah. Hey voices. Yeah, that's a YouTube thing. Betty's court bra. Why? Wait, let's talk about. I think that the local sheriff is where she has court today by Zoom. No, today is Queen's Court. There could be some decisions in the case today. Could be some verdicts or whatever you want to. The judge can hand down his decision in because there's stuff that's to be argued today, and I believe there was already stuff filed that they need to address. Yeah. The 22nd is the next court date for the protection orders.
The further the way, the better when it comes to his so-called opinion of where Sebastian may be. But he stays way clear from saying any place near their home. In fact, he's adamant that no one is to come near to their home. Yes.
No, that's not what was actually put out there. And Chris and Katie have cooperated 100% with law enforcement, and multiple agencies have been all over that house and all over their property. They have let people search, Betty. They just don't want the likes of you or JLR or CJ, that weird CJ dude, or that little dude with the big hats that goes digging, that Silvers dude. Yeah, they don't want him digging in their yard. Would you want him digging your yard up? He seems to like to dig. But yeah, that's why they don't want the likes of people like you, because they are being harassed, stalked, and threatened. But they've not denied law enforcement, nor did they deny any real legit search teams like EquiSearch. No.
It could be for their privacy, but it just seems
Hobbit
to me
goes
that
hunting.
CP is adamant that no one is allowed by their house or even near it. Could it be? Could it be because Sebastian is very close to the house? I know this may sound crazy, but I don't know. I can't shake the thought and the feeling that Sebastian is very close to their home. Could he be in the home? Could he be in the garage? Crazy thoughts, maybe. What if the home was not searched as good as they say, due to friends in LE? Is the garage been checked fully? Is there any so-called trap doors that would lead to an underground basement?
Oh my
I'm
God.
not a median or any kind. I do. Oops, I just missed it. Where did I go? There it goes. Sorry.
Now, I'm telling you, Betty's going to continue talking about this basement theory. And my guess is Betty's going to see if that's going to take off with people before she talks more about it. But yeah, now there's an underground basement. They don't have one.
I just lost track of it. Give me just a second. Median, I do receive visions at time, but it's called gifted prophecy. I also known as the shear.
Oh boy.
I had a vision months ago and never shared it, but felt led to share it today. Please know that this is not just a vision, but and no proof to know that this is just a vision and no proof to back it up. So this is the part that I find interesting. With that said, while I was sleeping, I had a vision. Visions are different than dreams. So anyways, this vision, I was walking around in a small to medium-sized basement. There was a man walking with me. I was looking around and I noticed the cement floor was very new, no cracks, discoloration, etc., just fresh, newly cement. There was also beams there, here and there, which they were also new. As I walked through the basement,
They don't have a basement. Hey, Grey Wolf. They don't have a basement. Hey, Tracy. They don't have a basement like that. What the hell is she, Michelle? What the hell is she talking about? This lady is supposed to be the home was base camp for legit searchers. It was thoroughly searched. Yeah, and went over with dogs multiple times. Yeah. Yep, it sure was. It sure was. They don't have a basement. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know if it's you writing this on your Facebook page because I wouldn't put it past you. I mean, you learn from JLR. Anyway, this doesn't make sense. She's so wrong because they don't have a basement. But okay.
I asked the man that was with me down there. He seemed to have the type of detective, businessman, or such. I asked him, so where did Sebastian sleep? And he pointed to the corner of the back wall and to the left of the basement. I woke up and I was in a deep thought on this vision and decided it did not need to be shared since one cannot prove a vision. It has bothered me every day when I see, listen, or read updates on Sebastian. Like I have said in this post, I have no idea if what I saw lines up with where Sebastian is, nor do I know if the night the flashlights were seen was the night Sebastian was carried down to this basement. I have thought it could be, but again, no proof. The car that a lot of people have seen or talked about on that night with the flashlights, I could never get to the point of believing that was used to take Sebastian in. I just keep getting it was another distraction that CP and KP wanted to get.
A vision, but here we are. Yeah, she'd have a loss prevention badge she stole from loss prevention, chasing people out of Walmart. PHP, you are aware that property records are public and therefore very easy to put your basement theory to rest. Yeah, they have their style of home, I don't believe has basements. Oh, well, I'm sorry if anybody's. I'm missing. Hey, Sassy, I'm missing stuff in chat. Sorry. And PJ gets on channels and acts like an advocate when she makes Katie come clean soap. Yeah, PJ's. Yeah, she's no advocate. She supports all that crap Dolly spews. He could fall in and sue me. Nah, he gonna fall for it if spider webs in the woods. They're allowed to have their privacy whether these amateurs agree or not. Exactly. Well, she says that she's paying $2,500 that somebody gave her. Somebody paid $2,500 for her to get an attorney to handle the PO hearings, but yet she won't accept service and show. And she said she's not going to court. She's only sending her lawyer, but yet they won't do anything. Earth Angel.
Get the public to believe. I don't necessarily believe that. Please forgive the grammar in my post. I do not have time to go through it and correct any words. I know the feeling. I'm praying with all my heart and soul that the truth will come to the surface and there will be justice for Sebastian. I do believe a few things. I do believe that Sebastian's a lot closer to the home than originally.
Hey, Casual Art. Hey, Beautiful Disaster. Oh, Lord, Betty's going to run with some of this. Here goes, guys.
Expected, but I keep wondering about his prior home. You know, it seems like they may have been at that prior home a little bit longer than this home. I'd like to look into that aspect a little bit more.
Oh, boy.
But I do believe that Sebastian left that home around 9:30, 10, because law enforcement was all over that house the next day. And while we did this with Letitia Stout, and she was able to hide Gannon in a suitcase while the search was going on inside their home, which, again, these are why we have these standards in policing. This is why the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children gave the directive and
hey,
turn the house into a crime scene.
Kelly.
Because a lot of law enforcement agents and agencies, they miss that thing because they just think it's just another runaway child. You know? But what if it's not? You know, you're not doing it for the hundred of children that are just runaway children. You're doing these protocols for the one that it's not. Right?
Okay, Betty, but do you know how many other kids are missing? 43, Betty. That some of those resources could be used for, but they're getting no attention. Like I've said before, they get a flyer if they're lucky, with very little info. Some of those kids need some of these resources too, Betty. I'm sick of you slamming law enforcement when they really did a lot for a case that's considered a runaway. The same with Layla. I know plenty of adults in the same situations that go missing, and law enforcement won't lift a finger. But yet you slam them for not doing their job. But Layla, as an adult who had an alternative lifestyle, so to speak, goes missing and she gets attention. But the 43 other kids, mostly persons of color, they don't get any attention. You tell me how that is. You tell me why you're not bitching about that.
And it seems like again,
But you're an advocate. You're an advocate for nobody but you.
in this case, that was the case. If they would have done what they needed to do right then and there, they wouldn't. It wouldn't have taken so long, in my opinion. The pickle bag. Well, it's kind of interesting. The pickle bag comes up because our beautiful Lisa B always sent a video.
This may be a trigger warning for some people, but be ready. You're going to see the epic fail. Hey, Seeker. You're going to see the epic fail of her pickle bag theory, but Betty won't accept it.
I try to cut it because you can still see her grandson's face in it. I know her grandson doesn't mind, but I would like to show it. But I'd also like to cut his face off because I just don't want people doing what people do, right? Because they're animals. So let me see if I can do this. We'll just show you this.
Because you would not hesitate to show someone's child. You've done it. So you mean like you. And here we go.
How tall are you now?
5'9" already. 130. So he can't bend over by being in his current condition. But
no, there's no buts, Betty. Your theory is shot to hell and back, number one, because you don't even know if she has one or if it's missing. Number two, he wouldn't have fit. But I've been trying to tell you for weeks, you're an idiot.
I truly believe.
Yeah, it is, Catherine.
This kind of condition, this would be able to. So I did want to say that we are testing the theory. It's hard with a live subject because the pickle bag to be used would not be in the realm of.
Betty, do you understand what you're saying? It would have been impossible without extreme measure. And I don't see that happening. Okay, number one. Number two, you're an idiot. I don't know what else to say. You're an idiot. It's not a probability, Betty. Not at all. Pickle bag out the door. But you're not going to let it go. She's going to ask for more people to try it. She's bound and determined because she just seen some rumor somewhere about a pickle bag and has ran with it since. That she's right and she's not right. Yeah, they did. EquiSearch did.
Theory of a live subject. So, it's a little bit different when you're not dealing with.
Yeah, you know what? A body is heavy. Super heavy. Betty.
When you're not fighting muscles and stuff like that, because they will give you permission to go through the house. You don't need permission to go through the old house down by Yogi Bear. Just go up to the police station and bring some cadaver dogs. And I keep wondering, that brings us back to another conversation, Rochelle. It's like, why did they leave that camper at the Yogi Bear campground in a different state
Hey.
for so long when Chris was adamant that he had to go back and get his damn camper. It took 17 hours to get it, but now he doesn't mind just leaving it willy-nilly anywhere. Does anybody find that problem? Why in a different state? You would think that if somebody wasn't staying in a camper, why would they be paying the money monthly to keep it there? It doesn't make
Betty, you're from Florida. You know how the camper situation works. Shut up. You may not have owned one, but you know how it works down here. And people do pay to keep them docked wherever they're at. It's not uncommon. It's not rare. It's not no breaking news or no big factual find. It's actually standard procedure. But you have no idea if he's using it for work or not. Because it's not your business.
makes sense. Donna B, that doesn't set in for 8 hours. Okay. Rigor starts setting in, and it's Riger. Riger starts setting in 8 to 10 hours. So as long as you're doing it before that, then you're fine. Now, for example, when Chris would have, if with this theory, if a person would have went back after stashing the subject somewhere, then you could possibly deal. But even I gotta look at something. But either way you look at it, Riger sets in and also goes away. So it's not there forever either. So if they were able to do it within that 8 hours, and he sat somewhere, by the time, like say, several days later or a week later when Chris went back, that would have been gone. So yeah, you're right. But that's why it's important to act quick. And it sounds like they did act quick. I mean, if you look at even though there's no direct evidence, we didn't see all this go on, but let's look at the facts. She was on the phone with her husband at 9:43, which many people believe that this is when something probably major happened inside of the house. That's why she had the 3-hour conversation. He comes back. So that's 3 hours, 3 hours. So you're right.
Betty, I gotta read you something now. I was muted, of course. My life story. But she was, let's see what they say about rigor mortis. I know when it does. But, yes, rigor mortis or muscle stiffness after death sets in within approximately 2 hours after death is completed. Let me start over. Jeez, oh man. Rigor mortis begins to set in approximately 2 hours after death and is completed in about 8 to 12 hours and may last up to 24 hours or more. However, these timelines are highly variable depending on many factors. The process is speeded up in higher ambient temperatures and is slowed down in colder climates. 1 to 2 hours, rigor mortis begins in the involuntary muscles of the heart and the small muscles of the face. 3 to 4 hours, rigor mortis spreads to the neck, lower jaw, chest, upper limbs, abdomen, and lower limbs. I don't want to read any more about it, but I just usually starts within an hour or two, Betty.
Right there, by the time that they started, say this 3:30, that's when the neighbors say that they estimate that this car pulls up and lights come through. It makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder a lot. But the car was only there 3 to 5 minutes, according to the neighbor, and that it was there between 3:30 and 4 o'clock because the clock on the camera was broken, and it was positioned at the same time. But
nothing was correct. I don't even know when it was taken, Betty.
They could tell based on how long it took for the garbage truck and the school bus to come through the neighborhood. That kind of gauged them when they believed that this happened. And they had a 30-minute window.
No. Anyway, Betty, it wasn't confirmed to be an SUV. It was not Kathy Bowersock's SUV, as you keep stating. And actually, everything you're stating about these photos have been debunked so many times.
window of 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning. And if we believe that this would have happened at, say, right before 10, then he would probably start stiffening up. Again, I don't want, this is a theory, this is not fact, okay? You'd have rigor starting to set in. You'll start seeing.
Okay. Now, she's said this was on Katie. All right. She said this was on Katie. Oh, and she's saying this stuff when she knows there's protection orders. Do you really think Betty's not trying her damnedest to get them silver bracelets put on her for her little show coming up?
Stiffening of the muscles and stuff like that. But I would presume that he would have probably been taken care of or put somewhere during the cleaning process, and they weren't fighting with that at that time. But that would still be under that window of 8 hours from the time we saw the light source on the outside of their home, from the time that they.
Hey, Betty, you know what? You can clean till you're blue in the face, but there's chemicals that they use, and you miss stuff, and they get them. It will show, Betty. So what you're saying doesn't matter anyway. But go ahead. And they didn't have time for all this, by the way. Where are they getting all this time? Chris was 3.5 hours away, at the least, providing there was no major traffic or nothing else, no issues.
Our behavioral aspect of this true crime genre, they would think that this would have happened right around 10. And so you're talking about 3:30 in the morning. You're 6.5 hours. You know what I'm saying? Actually, not even 6.5 hours. It's like 4
Okay,
hours.
my understanding, and I could be wrong, and please let me know in chat if I am. But the one car that there's been some question about was proven to be an Uber or something. Had nothing to do with Sebastian or any of this. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I remember. There's been so much information in this case. Yeah, she does think she's above the law.
All right. 5.5 hours. So 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So 5.5 hours. So it still works. It still works. And that would hit right at that time, and I'm still looking for that, any information related to that pickle bag. Obviously, the bottom torso of a 5'9" boy bottom part of, legs, hips, and below, bottom half, there we go, fits in that pickle bag, and there's still plenty of room stretching out this way to fit more in there. So,
oh my God,
it's possible. That's all I'm saying is it's possible.
She's not going to let it go.
Definitely believe that something happened inside that home for the majority of us. The majority of us that have really been paying attention to this and listening to the multiple changes of stories and the multiple variations of the story. And, Chris always wanting everybody to believe he's innocent and that he's passed polygraphs, and when he didn't do any of it, he lied.
You're a liar. You're a total liar. Seth is well aware Chris took a polygraph and passed it because law enforcement informed him of it to try to give him info to keep him quieted down. He knows it's true, and he's chose to let you run with this crap. He knows Chris took one, and he knows Chris passed it.
To everybody for months.
And their stories have not changed. The foundation of their story has stayed the same.
That he did all these things. He was fine, nothing to see over here, and then we have the rug ripped out from under us, and he's caught lying, and then he's caught lying again, then he's caught lying again. And so it makes us, people don't lie if there's nothing to hide. So what in the world is Christopher and Katie hiding? Did Katie do the unthinkable inside that home? Because I've got it, my bag seemed bigger than that one. Well, if anybody's got a sea bag,
here she
goes again. Grandchildren or a son, jump in it. See what we got. Record it. Send it to me.
Oh my Lord!
This is the stuff we need to fact check.
No,
right?
you don't.
Why talk?
It's not a fact, Betty. It is not factual in this case. You're trying to make it a fact, and you can't do that. It is not factual. It's some cocky made up crap you run with off social media and you add to it. You inflate it. It's not a fact. It is not factual information.
About something that wouldn't be possible. But at the end of the day, something does not seem right. Blackburn Construction was digging a new basement for their home located in Hendersonville in February. Has anyone checked the location of the construction company? No, that's the first I've heard of it. Thank you. I had one, but my ex-husband, the jerk, gave it away. Yeah. Do you have kids or grandkids or a neighbor? Bring them over and stuff them in a bag. Record it. And I heard they don't know.
It's not going to be the same, Betty. And it's not going to work.
Who the person is. Plus, he was the one who hit Sebastian in that made the thud sound. Well, I was listening that some of the there was a psychic. I don't know which one it was, but I heard that they said that there was another guy at the house, or they felt like there was another presence there at the house. And when I heard that, like I didn't watch it, but people, they commentate in the emails when they send me the link.
Get ready.
And the first thing, because everybody keeps thinking that Katie must have had an affair. I don't believe it, because it seemed to me that Chris was not a very pleasant man, and I don't think she really wanted to rock the boat and upset him because he wasn't a very pleasant man.
You don't know anything about them or their marriage. Nothing.
What I mean by that is abusive, okay? Allegedly abusive. So I don't know if that was the case, but every time I
Katie's never once said he was abusive.
Hear of another man or another present, who just pops in my head all the time, and it's Terry Bowersocks.
Oh my!
Every time I hear of another guy, another being, another anything, I automatically go to Terry because they are like thick as thieves. Every time Chris needs something done, he calls his mommy, and Mommy Dearest is there to rescue.
I haven't seen that. I'd like to know how you have, because you don't know any more about these people than I do. I've not seen that. You act like you know these people, like you were in their lives. And Betty, you don't. You're not relevant at all. You're trying to make yourself.
She did it with Nina. She's doing it with me. They don't mind.
You don't know nothing about the Nina situation. You know the crap somebody was on here who's in a very nasty custody battle, and saw an opportunity to attack these people and attack Chris, because that's all it was.
And lying that we've caught.
And at the worst time of their lives, when Katie's son is missing. Okay.
I'm in so many lies. It's not funny, but the fruit don't fall far from the tree, and a bird's a feather. You know what I'm saying? So every time I feel like I hear
we're going to show it.
Guy, I'm not thinking Katie's cheating. I'm thinking of her crackpot father-in-law.
But you did run with that for a while. She was cheating with the neighbor. He was cheating with some waitress. Yeah, you did run with that for a minute, Betty. You did. You run with all the rumors.
That's highly disturbed. Mr. Wannabe Breaking Bad with his chemicals. Right? With his chemicals. Maybe that's why his teeth's so messed up. He was too busy on some of those chemicals. Pass there, Terry. Pass. That's all I'm saying. Don't pass it to me. I don't do that stuff.
That's not true. I seen a pen. That wasn't a... Never mind. And I don't care. More power to you. You probably should. But you have no right saying this stuff about Mr. Bowersocks, because you're accusing this man of using substances, Betty, that has a protection order against you.
Oh, the numbers are needed with registrations. Yeah, it could be. It could. Will be Terry. I thought that too. Yeah. And then somebody's talking about these cameras. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, and of course it wasn't. I wasn't the troll account.
Yeah, her version of reality, which was distorted. There's two sides to every story, and then there's the truth. Yeah. Which must not have been validated for court since... Yep, exactly. I don't know. It was even her reality. I think a lot of it was character assassination. And sadly, we'll never know the truth. And I don't really care because it really had nothing to do with this. And it wasn't internet content, in my opinion. But hey, Celia.
I put it up there, so I have something to talk about. I just wanted to throw that out there. But somebody was, talking about the cameras. They keep going back to the cameras because Nina thought they had cameras, and we were talking about possibly having cameras out in the garage, and they were really cryptic when they were asking about whether there was cameras. Like when Nancy Grace said that they asked them if they had cameras, and they're like, not pointed up the house or something like that. And we all kind of, the answers were strange. How they
No, the answers weren't strange. He didn't want people to know where he had cameras for their protection, Betty. Nothing strange about it. Nothing at all.
About the cameras. Did they have cameras? Did they not have cameras? And one thing I've noticed, especially in a lot of the child abuse cases that I watch with autistic children, I was just watching
Okay, this is not a child abuse case. This is a missing teenager, Betty.
A woman and her son on Court TV, where the boy just came to their house, was autistic, he wouldn't sleep. It was, this lady wasn't used to it. They locked him
I don't want to hear this.
until he wasted away. And
so that's where she came up with the seller stuff. Not the email or the comment from her page that she probably put there that she was reading. She watched something on Court TV about a different autistic kid being locked up in a basement. So automatically, she associates that with Sebastian. Her mind is so warped. So warped.
Right there in the bottom of the cellar with her over him, calling him garbage and piece of garbage and all this other stuff. It was absolutely horrific.
This has nothing whatsoever to do with Sebastian. Is not the case. Totally different. You see what I mean about her?
One of the things that I think that was relevant was the fact that this child, this autistic child, wouldn't sleep well at night and would pillar the kitchen.
Hey, Shauna.
And that they chained the food up. They locked the cabinets. This is for the other case that was just on Court TV. And they chained it up, locked it up, and everything like that. And somebody,
welcome to Poolside, Rachel. You are now a Poolside misfit. You have a cool badge. Hey, Glory. Hey, Weeping Waters. Hey, Shauna. Make sure casual art. I want to make sure I say hey. I don't like. Hey, Hensley. Hey, Liza. Hey, Thor.
brought up.
Whoa, what was that?
Cameras in the kitchen.
Betty, I swear you're cursed sometimes. That was the weirdest sound.
Where he could yell at Sebastian if he went into the kitchen for food. Now, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if that's a thing. It seems like this food and when everybody's asleep, they get into everything. I don't know if that's just with the kid on the Court TV. It was awful. It was awful. It was awful. Or, this is something.
Thank you for the $5 Cash App. I don't want to say your name because you didn't put your YouTube name, but thank you very much. Greatly appreciate that. Hey, Sherry B.
A common theme with a lot of children that are autistic, and parents try to mitigate that somehow by locking the refrigerators
and by the
up
way,
and not letting them have food.
Let me stop.
But I believe it would absolutely be something he would do. He loves the control.
I didn't put my banner on.
We definitely know that. Yeah, they're the most biased CV because their whole team was fired, and so they have a chip on their shoulder. That's why, because they're absolutely worthless. But they want to pat themselves on the back. Like they're the only ones saying they're professional.
I forgot my banner.
They are really good at what they do, right? They're the only ones saying that. And I'm
sorry. How do you fire somebody you ain't paid? Oh, pause on point. Pause on point. But how do you fire somebody that you ain't been paid to? In the first place? I'm confused. But yeah. Betty, I truly think, and this is just my opinion, I think that Seth is using you as some type of PI. And if you remember correctly, back when she was posting on Twitter against SF being PI and stuff, she made a post where she stated, and she stated it in the complaint she filed against FS's license, that Jennifer said Tonello was her client and that she had clients. I'm telling you, Betty is telling these people she can work as a PI for them. I'm telling you. I don't know. Hey, booty shots. It's wild.
You probably don't have a whole lot of clients when you're the only one screaming that from the rooftops. Nobody else is listening to you. Like, we watch you. We saw how unprofessional you were. You were kicked off the team. And now you guys are all crying like little bitten babies. So, you know, I'm sorry.
No.
You're the only
Anybody that wanted to do things the right way and didn't want to do this drama crap like you and do these lives accusing innocent parents of horrific crimes. Anybody who wasn't on board with any of this, they got rid of. That wanted to do things the right way. Wanted to vet people and make sure they were who they claimed to be. You know, the right way.
only one giving yourselves an attaboy. I'm just saying. The rest of us are looking at you guys and laughing. You know, they used Seth's name to promote their Facebook group and then turned on Seth. They're pieces of garbage. Every last administrator, every last coordinator, they're garbage. They're junk. That's what I think about them personally and professionally. Seth admitted that CP passed the lie detector. I don't think that's absolutely...
because they're actually trained and licensed. You don't like them. You're jealous of anybody that does things the right way, Betty.
Correct. I don't think Seth admitted. I think he heard. Nobody knows if Chris passed a polygraph test. Let's be honest. Nobody knows. Who would you have learned that from? Just out of curiosity. Chris? Katie? Because you hadn't heard from a reliable source. The only other reliable source that I would consider a reliable source in this respect would be Nancy Grace, and she adamantly stated that Chris refused to take a polygraph.
What? The only reliable source you would take is Nancy Grace? Okay. She's really... Hey, Brittany. She's really drank too much of her coffee this morning. Yeah. And you know, she actually did a live this morning before court. She did. There's only like 2 minutes of it I want to show you, though. We're almost done with this one. But
Test, so we don't know.
I wouldn't have taken Nancy Grace's lie detector test either. Sorry, I just wouldn't have. Also, I'm sure Chris consulted law enforcement as he should have. I would have even consulted an attorney, to be honest. And was advised not to take it. And he did take one for law enforcement. And Seth is aware of it. Seth was notified by law enforcement that Chris took it and passed it. There's messages to prove that, by the way. Allegedly.
We don't know.
You're a nut.
And if you ask me if I'm going to trust Nick Barris at this point, no, not. He said that Chris and Katie were not suspects. I'm done getting my news from mainstream media.
They have not been named a suspect. There has been no named suspects, Betty. Had they been cleared? No. But they also have not been named a suspect, a main suspect. No one has been. Seth either. He's in the same boat they're in. They're all three in the same boat.
Just saying. Just saying. My child is autistic and lives with me. I don't have to lock up food or anything. He asked first for it. Yeah. And my understanding
You
is
got
that
banned
every child's...
only for 8 hours? Wow. Usually she bans you for good. Her chat just told her that Seth said CP took one. Now she is saying Seth is unreliable. Probably. Oh, her chat's trying to tell her. I've been telling her for months. For like 2-3 months now. I mean, I've even showed her
stuff like that, so
where
very well maybe the case.
Chris called Seth out for it. Whoa, it won't pause. Where Chris called Seth out for it by saying that he was aware of the lie detector test and he was also aware that he passed it because Chris knows for a fact law enforcement reached out to Seth and gave him that information. So, but she still don't get it. She'll probably block the person that said it.
But
banned through YouTube for a comment.
Simple, keep it simple.
So someone reported your comment. Someone did that to me one time in the beginning. I think it was Veda and them, and I couldn't comment for like 24 hours. I didn't say anything in the comment. There was no cursey words or nothing. So I didn't get it, but that's ridiculous.
Stupid. The kiss method, right? We can analyze this as this child walked into a home that he did not walk out of. And according to every single report and according to every single statement, the only other person inside that home with him was his mother. Up until the lights went out in that house at around 11:30, and the house goes completely dark to the time that there's light sources coming from the back side of their house to a car that appeared like it was trying to stay out of the view of all cameras. And you watch those light sources go to the vehicle, because it was a full-size SUV.
Okay.
And
it was not a full size. It's not been confirmed that it's a full size SUV, Betty. Stop it. You got that so wrong. You were so wrong. Even Spanky came out and called you out on that, Betty. You were always so far off. Also, there's no confirmation that there was lights traveling back and forth or people. And the footage you could be talking about could be whoever was getting picked up in that Uber actually getting in the Uber and leaving. It had nothing to do with Sebastian or the Proudfoots.
Go back to the Proudfoot home. And it just subsequently happens that the next morning, the only person that woke up inside that home was only one person. And it was Katie Proudfoot. Again, did she do the unthinkable? Did something happen inside that home? Yes, I believe it did. And I have every right to say that because at the end of the day,
exactly,
we're all looking at the same information. In my opinion, I think it was a truck with a bed cover. I don't.
I've always leaned towards it being a pickup truck, but that she keeps saying is the SUV and that it was Kathy Bowersock's vehicle, and it was not. It was not. It wasn't. Even Spanky called her out on that crap. You're delusional, woman. Your distorted reality is dangerous.
I don't. Because you can see the hatch. You can see the silhouette of a full hatch. It was a full-size SUV in my calculation, in opinion.
No, it wasn't.
Now, everybody else is entitled to their opinion, Wendy, but I would start looking at the back ends of these vehicles. I can tell you, if you're talking about a truck with one of those things, it would not line up to the back, that silhouette.
It did. Your silhouettes did not line up, Betty, because you don't know what the hell you're doing. And it's been debunked. Spanky even debunked it for you. Yeah. Yeah, Justice for All called her out on this. That was when he called her a bullhorn strangler. Twice. He said bullhorn strangler. I had to clip that shit, but yeah. Betty, Spanky debunked you. Spanky. And he said you shouldn't be putting this out there telling people this stuff. And you were using his content and twisting it up. And he didn't like that. You were twisting up what he was saying. And he didn't like that at all. And he says you've done it like 3 or 4 times. So he called you bullhorn strangler. And then you sent him a nasty message and you took his wrench and you kicked him out of your little group. Y'all just had a major breakup. But, hey, he called you bullhorn strangler. Besides that, Gray used all them. There's been several people that debunked your light situation. But, okay.
Send it over to me, what make and model you think it is, and what type of topper you think is on the truck, and I'll fit it in.
You don't know what you're doing.
So I heard they will be selling their house.
Look at her face. She don't like it. They were not selling their house in the first place. That's another rumor you ran with, Betty.
Coward's still running. We've been hearing that for a long time, but I think the problem is even if they wanted to sell their house, they can't.
Sure they could. Sure they could, and they would. It's a nice house. But they were never selling their house, Betty. That was rumors you ran with.
Can't sell their house because there was 2 houses on the market in that neighborhood, according to Miss Bobby, And
Oh, yeah. And Miss Bobby's just a wealth of information, and she's so factual. And you can take everything she says to the bank, but let her read JLR and Betty's Facebook groups first and watch JLR's videos. And then you can ask her and take it to the bank.
when this case broke off,
Hey,
they had to
Karen.
take their houses off the market because of all the contactors to get into the house to watch over to the Proudfoots. I don't think they're going to let as heightened as
Yeah. Oh no, Spanky try. He barely tries to call her out, and then he backpedals on what he says because Spanky don't want Betty's screaming mouth, so he backs down. He does. He has no balls.
this case is. It's going to be.
And she did that 3 or 4 times in a row. Within 30 minutes of him being done live, she'd fire up a live and copy exactly what he just went over and twist it up, which he'd already twisted it up. So it was double twisted up. So you really know it was bad. And yeah, and he called her out for it. He said he was sick of it. She de-wrenched him and kicked him out of the group. And yeah, they've had an internet breakup.
Very hard for them to let somebody go in and through their home, because that's what people do when they're interested in buying it. They go inside their home without Chris and Katie and with a realtor, and they walk through the entire home and open closets.
They never put the house up for sale, Betty. They were not putting their home up for sale.
Look in spaces. I don't know if they're prepared to have all of that done just yet. Now, I could be wrong.
You're
I've
wrong.
been wrong on a lot of things. Very limited on some of these case things, but we do have a good batting average on
You're
here.
wrong 99.9% of the time.
I do believe that there is something inside that home. I believe law enforcement made a healthy amount of mistakes early on in this case.
They
And I think that
they made a healthy amount of mistakes in this case. You fucking idiot. They were on this case within minutes of receiving the call. He hadn't been gone that long when law enforcement started and right away started searching Betty. They pulled out all the stops. There was so many ground searches. EquiSearch was there. Shut up. There was no healthy mistakes.
To jeopardize.
They have fully and are continuing to fully investigate this case. And they gave it multiple agencies had resources on this case, Betty.
In the future, I am very saddened that Sebastian is not worthy of more than one detective. I am very saddened that his case is going to go cold.
Who knows? But Seth likes him younger, so yeah, I can't see that.
Because all Chris and Katie, in my opinion, had to do was just hide the body real well. And as hurtful as that is to his biological
okay, right there, she's saying that they murmured this kid. Yeah. Isn't
father, Seth Rogers, which is very much a part of his life and the only person that's been searching for his son. I know he does not want to hear those things. He has hope, and he believes he's going to be reunited with his son alive. And I pray to God that day comes for him. But in our world, we look at statistics, we look at information, and we need to draw some conclusions from that information.
No, Betty. In any case, you go to the most horrific details. You never stay positive in any case. You always go disgusting. You do. And someone always did it who didn't do it.
At the end of the day, we don't know where this.
Remember the pregnant teen and her fiance that were murmured? Remember how you blamed the wrong people and you took their stuff off Facebooks and showed them all over the place, and you accused them of doing it? It wasn't them. You never made that right, Betty. You never backtrack on that. You never backtrack on nothing you do. You won't admit what you did to Brandy Neal when you went live with that stuff you shouldn't have went live with. You won't admit the harm you did in the Wells case, in the Petito case, in the laundry, all of them. Kathleen Moore, just all of them. And now you're going to go and try to muck up the Idaho 4 case some more. Like you didn't do enough in the beginning.
This boy is, but it's been 6 months. We're coming up on 6 months. And, you know, we need to start looking at other possibilities. And I absolutely do believe that Katie did something to her son. And I think Christopher Proudfoot did something with her son.
Oh my God.
Is there anything that's going to change my mind? Yes. The truth.
Betty, you wouldn't know the truth if it smacked you in the head. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter to you. You would have to totally reverse everything you have on your channel. And you're not going to do that.
Finding him. And learning what happened. That's the only thing that's going to change my mind. I'm not going to believe anything until he is found.
Hey, Mr. Tomato Head.
Healthy or just found. And at least Seth can get some answers. Because
Yeah,
the parent story is
wrong
different.
person got arrested. Oh, heck, the one case up here, she couldn't even get right how many suitcases they found with body parts in them. Or she couldn't even get right the name of the place they were found. It was hysterical. I mean, I called her out on it.
Never made sense. It's forever changing. They ran away from home 2 weeks after their son disappeared and stayed gone. They came back, they left again. They're more concerned about me running around and doing filming than they are about getting out.
Betty, because of people like you and your little cohorts with stalking, harassing, and threatening them constantly, I can see why she left her home and wouldn't stay there at night by herself. I totally get it.
The woods and looking for their own son.
Why would they? They're working with law enforcement. They are looking. They are doing things. You just won't acknowledge it, Betty, because it doesn't fit your narrative. See, it's factual. You don't want nothing factual. That don't work for you.
I have no pity for them.
They
be
don't
honest
want
with you?
they don't want your pity. They just want you to leave them alone. Quit stalking them. Quit harassing them. Quit having your minions harass them and stalk them. Leave them alone.
They deserve everything that they're getting, in my opinion.
Oh my God.
From the community, from their jobs, from law enforcement.
They're
Everyone,
not getting anything from.
They've earned it.
They're not getting anything like.
They put their neck
Oh, this won't pause. Betty,
out. They wouldn't shut up.
they wouldn't. What are they? They're not getting anything from their community or their jobs. There's people that are human beings and don't act like you. And put out the crap that you and JLR and Brittany J and Spirit Seeker and Spanky and that thing in the wall. But you're one of the worst when it comes to this. When it comes to this case, you really are.
They kept saying different stories, different times, different everything. They
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
did this themselves because they couldn't keep their story straight.
No, you're talking about the wrong. Their foundation of their story has stayed the same. When there was something that they couldn't answer because of law enforcement, they didn't. But when law enforcement would give them the okay, then a little bit more would be released. That's common. However, they're not the ones that changed up their story about all the internet usage and the accessibility to the internet and the 12 hours being left. They've not. You need to go back and check your facts. There's a lot of inconsistencies.
And Chris likes to drink. And therefore,
No,
why he's
actually, I believe I heard Chris say that he doesn't drink. I could be wrong, but I could swore I heard that. I don't know if it was on Duchess or Queens, or maybe it was close. I don't know, but I know I thought I heard him say he doesn't even drink. I mean, that's what she goes to. She don't know these people. She has no idea about their life.
in a Don Wells, where he just had to get drunk and tell people about themselves. And it got him in a lot of trouble because he contradicted a lot of the work that they had done, the scripts that they had written. So if you guys have any opinions on what you think happened inside that home, what you truly think happened inside that home, I'm not going to have you guys put it in here. But you guys, if you'd like to, please send me your
That
perspective
music's too loud.
at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Let me know what you think happened. Don't send me. I want to know you, what you think have it.
Sorry, guys.
And
I
how you
didn't.
think
I
it was
didn't.
carried out. I'm opening my ears. I want to hear things. I'm going to be going to Tennessee. I'm going to be getting there a few days early, so I can look at some bridges and look at some sites.
Let me know if that background music is too loud. I didn't realize it was up so loud.
And I want some ideas. Tomorrow's my court hearing. I'm as prepared as I'm going to be, as sick as I am.
So she's going to use getting over a cold as an excuse in court today.
Pray to God I have, a partially successful. I'd like to have a fully successful court hearing tomorrow, but I'm reasonable, and I realize that it's going to be what the judge is going to be the judge's discretion and what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm at his mercy, and all I can do is just argue the best I can and pray to God. Listen, guys, I got to tell you, I got the weed eater.
Why are you not admitting to your audience that you are also being sued? That there is a countersuit that has been put through by the judge already, Betty. So regardless of what happens with yours, that moves forward. You never mention that. Why is it? All you say is, I'm suing, but you're also being sued, Betty.
I'm going to tell you this, okay? Thank God I'm a techie person, and thank God I use my common sense, and thank God, I shouldn't
She's
be
a techie person?
quite yet, because I haven't cranked the bad boy up yet, right?
Wait a minute. She always complains how she's not techie and can't figure stuff out. Now she's techie?
Got some gasoline, I got some two-stroke
Don got himself in trouble. It's been 3 years and 0 charges. Exactly.
oil, and I'm ready to power up the weed eater. Now, this thing I told you came with a lot of different parts, right? The hedger, the bush trimmer.
Oh yeah, you got an
the
expensive
weed whacker.
one.
It comes with a little chainsaw. It comes with, it's like this.
I mean, they got her. She put an expensive one on her wish list, and that's exactly what she got.
It is a piece of equipment, I can tell you that. But it came in pieces. I mean, this goes here. I'm like, all these pieces, put it on the table, and I'm like, oh. I start working on it, start to go in it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, thing goes well. I'll be weeding. I saw the yard stuff. And so I bought lawnmowers for 10 years and never replaced the starter in the lawnmower. Take it up and have it tested. And if it's the same, I don't know. Doing my own yard. Then put it all together. Oh, and then when I picked it up, I realized I had some things backwards.
So now she's grifting for a new lawnmower because there's something wrong with the lawnmower. So you see, it's never good enough. It's never enough for her. But she's done with this one. All right. And there's just a couple, because I want to get off here shortly here. My hubby got to go to work, and I don't know if this time's going to work out either. But she said something this morning, and I think I wrote the timestamp. Whoa. Sorry about that. I wrote a timestamp down. Yeah, okay. Let me share screen. This is titled Sebastian Rogers, Good Morning, Tennessee. But she talks more about everything else. She does mention him. But this stream is about other things as well. And she's such a clickbaiter. But we're only going to listen to parts of this.
Right now is the fact that I've got fluid still in my ears and I'm gunky still up in the. That's all. My favorite people all in one place.
Now this is
early. I want to
early.
give a huge shout out.
Early this morning.
I don't think I do this enough. Is Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast is I really love.
Well, she's really kissing these people's butt because they live down there, and they feed her information.
I love who they are.
I don't know what information they have because they don't communicate with the Proudwoods. At least I don't think they do anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't watch them.
Their story about their children, they're just really good people trying to do good things with their platforms and advocating.
Well, being attached to someone like you is not good for them, if that's the case. And that is what it is. And that is true facts.
Therefore, they've been friendly over here and subbed up over here a while ago, and I got to meet them. And gosh, I love them to death. They're so sweet. It's like everybody I meet is doing the work that I do. I meet some pretty rotten people as well, but I meet a lot of what they can do. Right? I mean, there are people that do. The people that don't do that on this platform that like to criticize everybody that does do. But for the most part, we love being and surrounding ourselves. Even though I thought I was, and something came up. Somebody sent me a clip from them, and I'm like, why did it say subscribe? And I really, oh my gosh, I never subscribed to them. So I've been a subscriber to them now for a couple weeks. I know a lot of my audience has been subscribed, but I thought I was subscribed to them. I swear. So anyways, I got really clever too. Content is really a bunch of people that was
All right, I'm moving forward.
Stuff up there. And Crimecast, if whenever you guys is where there is a criminal investigation, there's very notable enforcement that there's no criminal investigation while they're trying to and they're contained have a case as public information officer, and we don't believe Sumner County has it, which is really, really bad, because when you have a case like this, you need somebody that communicates with the public and gets the messaging out, and they're containing this. They're trying to basically say there's nothing to see over here, while they're trying to make us believe that there's no criminal investigation. We all know the elements and the standards and the policies and procedures of law enforcement in cases where there is
I had her sped up too much.
A criminal investigation. There's very notable behaviors of law enforcement. One, the first key was the state's attorney coming out to the scene within 72 hours.
Okay.
If you hear
that's not been confirmed either. I've asked a couple people about it. They weren't aware of it. I didn't dig any deeper into it. But Betty, it was not treated as a criminal case because it was a 15-year-old that walked out the house. You understand that, right? There's no evidence of foul play. That came out of law enforcement's own mouth.
and watch any of your favorite real true crime
Opus.
TV, like court TV.
Well, welcome out of the bushes. Her frivolous lawsuit against Queen Bee. But what she doesn't tell people is that she's also being sued. There's a countersuit that has pushed through. The courts did put the countersuit through. Betty's has already been dismissed once. She refiled the same crap, so it'll most probably get dismissed again. Hopefully this time with prejudice, so she can't do the same crap. Because if the judge doesn't do that, Betty will refile it again.
Or like the first 48 hours, or, Joe Kenda, a lot of people that talk about the policies and procedures of law enforcement. One critical thing is that there are, it's very customary to have the state attorney go out to the scene. The problem is when they go out to the scene.
This is not a crime scene, Betty.
It's usually for criminal investigation. That's why they're there. They're there to help with a criminal investigation. So we know that this kind of took its turn about that 72-hour mark when we started seeing the state attorney, the district attorney out there on the scene advising law enforcement. That tells us right there, he's not going out there for a missing person, right? That's not a criminal investigation. It's not something that would utilize a district attorney's experience or guidance, okay? That doesn't come into play in a missing person child. These things come into play when you have criminal investigation. So they're trying to act like we don't have a criminal investigation. They're trying to, basically play the public, in my opinion.
Yeah, roll my eyes hard enough.
We don't know what we're doing. They know what we're doing.
Yeah, Betty did take care of that issue. Yeah, she did. She took care of that little issue with, yeah.
We're all completely off base here. We don't know anything. But the problem is there's too much information out. That factual information that has been released to the public, not only by the law enforcement department, but by Chris and Katie themselves, right?
Okay.
They went on podcast after podcast after podcast trying to defend themselves.
No, actually, they did not. They've only been on a few, Betty. Let's see how many they've been on. That's the wrong person who was jumping from channel to channel to channel, Betty. Chat to chat to chat. In fact, I don't think they've been on anybody's in quite a while. And they weren't on all that many, Betty. Again, you got your facts wrong. And you don't know no facts.
They never really talked about their son. They talked about everything that they were going through. Me. Poor me.
That's funny because I learned a lot about Sebastian when they would talk about things. So clearly, you're a tunnel rat. You don't see anything else.
Poor me. Another,
Wasn't
another
poor
shot,
me.
right?
Nope. Again, you got the wrong parent.
It's all poor me, poor me. It was all self-preservation when they were going on all of
Yeah,
these.
law enforcement said there was no evidence of foul play, period. And that the parents, there's no evidence leaning towards the parents with foul play. Betty don't care.
Things. They weren't talking about
Hey,
Sebastian. They
Truth
weren't talking about the
Hey,
case. They
BB.
weren't talking about ways to find Sebastian. They weren't talking about areas that they think that their son in to point the searchers in the right
I
way.
think because of the medical.
They haven't been out there. They haven't posted flyers. They haven't done anything.
What are you talking about? Yes, they have posted flyers. Chris has made signs and put them up. Remember when he was doing that, you were going around accusing him of tearing the signs down. But you idiots would put them on utility poles where they get taken down within 24 hours usually, Betty. And y'all know that. That's why you did it. Stop it. And so you could blame Chris for doing it. They've helped pay for billboards. Katie has been working getting his flyers put up in stores all over the place, Betty. There's stuff going on. You won't see. You refuse to.
They've actually come to the public and begged for help and then condemned each and every person that has tried.
No, they have not. No, they have not. They have not condemned anybody.
To help. They have threatened people. They've had their family stalk people.
They have not. That's not true. Betty's the stalker, her and her group.
They've done a lot of bad acting on their part while screaming that they want their son to be brought home.
What bad acting have they done, Betty? Seth was the one chasing off people, Betty. Searchers. You need to go back and check who started it all. Betty.
It doesn't appear to be so. Then we got law enforcement with a mouthpiece, Nick Barris, which, again, I don't like having
Yeah, totally
dispute
confused.
with mainstream media. I really don't. I there's a reason why I have my platform. There's a reason why I do the things that I do. It's because I don't trust mainstream media. I believe mainstream media tells the story that that the politicians or their boardrooms want them to tell. There's no freedom of the press with the journalists for these alphabet soups of our.
You mean because they won't get on a bullhorn and act like a freaking idiot in front of people's houses? They won't get on here and knowingly lie and spread the lies and be good with it. You mean is that why? Because media does do that too, Betty. They don't scream in front of people's houses, but they pass around misinformation. Not to the degree you do it. That's why you don't like them, because they don't even approve of your antics, Betty.
Mainstream media this day. There's no journalistic integrity. They'll lie through their teeth.
You don't see them getting protection orders slapped against them because they're stalking, harassing, and threatening the family of a missing child. I don't know.
They'll lie to you. I don't like it. They don't have.
If a child has been abducted, then I believe that they issue an endangered child alert. Mm-hmm.
Any backbone. They don't push against the system anymore. We used to have real journalists that push against the system, such as that reporter that was reporting cars and all this other stuff.
Okay, I'm coming. Wait.
This guy is stabbed to death and on the side of his house, and it is alleged that this politician, this county administrator, is the one that did it. And his name's something, I can't remember his first name, but I know his last name's Tellis. So it's Nevada versus blank.
Okay, this has nothing to do with it.
The ones that don't mind doing the job, that don't mind getting, following the people to report on what they're doing. Like this guy's a county employee. He's on county time getting a whatever fix, because if not, then you need us.
Huh?
Why are we having no communication from law enforcement? Why are they letting this file collect us?
Because, Betty, you're not relevant to the case. You're just someone in the public. That's it. You're not famous. You're not a credentialed reporter. You're not any kind of PI that you claim to be, or investigative journalist you claim to be. You are not credentialed, Betty. It's an open, active investigation. They don't need to tell you nothing. It's not your son.
What ace in the hole do they have that they're not telling us about? Do they have a piece of clothing? Do they have cleaning supplies? What they find at the landfill? Stuff was taken out of the landfill. They say it's of no evidentiary value, kind of
Oh my God.
the beating drum of Sumner County. Well, what is
So what would you prefer, Betty? Would you prefer them to come out and lie and say that they found stuff they didn't? Like you people have no problem doing? I mean, I don't. What do you want information and stuff that nobody's going to get in an open case, period.
evidentiary value? Sumner County? I mean, if the lights coming out of the backside of their house and going to a car in the middle of the night is not
Okay,
evident.
that's not. There's no evidence of that.
Of evidentiary value.
Oh, the light.
And the child, the fact that he never walked out of the home.
And law enforcement has stated they have the original videos. They have watched them. They are not of any evidentiary value.
Home has never been seen on
time. Now, that doesn't mean that who knows, but evidently there's nothing on it that would have helped to find Sebastian or to see where he went, or they would be using it. They would not have stated there was no evidentiary value at this time. That he
on a camera, if that's not evidentiary value, if the fact that there is literally the whole house appeared to be cleaned prior to being law enforcement being called in, with the exception of Sebastian's room, if that's not an evidentiary value.
No, she just kept a clean house. Jealous much? So what if her house was clean? What?
Well, what do we call evidence?
She didn't have enough time, Betty. Police were there within minutes, Betty. You're fucking ridiculous. You don't think they'd have smelled fresh cleaning? You can smell your cleaning supplies, Betty. You know? And according to you, she'd use bleach. Were you going to smell the hell out of some bleach? You're such an idiot.
What is evidence?
Oh.
Because I think the Sumner County might be a little confused. I think Nick Barris might be a little confused, right? There is literally, like this case that we're talking about, this Nevada versus Telus case, there was no witnesses. All right? There was no witnesses. There was a car, there was a man in orange with a straw hat, and that's all they got. What led them to Telus? There was DNA under fingernails because they did find the guy.
Okay, this has nothing to do with Sebastian.
You look at the make out his height. You couldn't make out his weight.
This has nothing to do with Sebastian. None of this. For the next.
Is that the teacher? Yeah, I know. That's the one I've been talking about. If that you're talking about that Greenberg lady or whatever her name is,
none of
I
this
can't remember. Eileen.
Nothing to do with Sebastian.
Is that the case you're talking about? I want you to pay very close attention to the ones in the back of her head.
This has nothing, but this is
now,
about
I'm sorry,
Sebastian.
I'm not. And are law enforcement trying to...
Okay. I fast forwarded through all that because it's other cases that have nothing to do with Sebastian, yet he is the sole title. But then look at all our hashtags. You know, every case. But none of that, what she was talking about, and I'm not familiar enough with the case to make comment on it. But now I'm going to get myself because she's talking about it. And I want to make sure, because I've had to call her out before about not getting facts right in cases, you know. I mean, she didn't even know how many suitcases or where. I mean, it's just a lot with Betty. But I will look into it and get on it.
Play the Proudfoots. Trying to... We haven't found Sebastian Rogers. So what gives? And are law enforcement trying to play the Proudfoots? Maybe if they were at one time, but that ship has done sailed. Chris and Katie have told people entirely too much information, which and no, a bunch of garbage. They told people a bunch of garbage, never really answering any of the major questions that we've had for months. And then when they started getting called out on it, they decide to ghost everybody, right? Except for
that's not true. They never were all over social media, Betty. Wrong parents again. You're mixing your parents up. They're not ghosting people. They never did jump from panel to panel. They were on a few, and they have a right to be. Just because their son's missing doesn't mean they can't go to YouTube or go watch somebody on YouTube. There's a,
You know,
you know,
and that's pretty much the only people, from my understanding, that they'll talk to. And she has to, from my understanding, from what I'm hearing, she has to keep calling them and calling them and calling them and driving them nuts until they answer their phone. So it doesn't sound like they're really trying to talk unless they're trying to save their own butt.
You have no idea from your understanding. Betty, stop it. You run with rumors. You don't know what they do during their day. It's in their daily life, and it's not your business. You don't know who they're calling, who they're not calling. You don't know none of it. And if she's calling law enforcement, you can bet they're calling her back. Just saying.
So when we go back to the Crimecast, Mr. and Mrs. E Crimecast, and you talk about how we all have so much information, it's hard to try to convince us to believe what we already know. You know, as if we're supposed to move that to the side and say, that's not what we're.
But you don't know. None of this is factual, Betty. Nothing you're putting out is factual. So you don't know.
That's not what we're supposed to believe, right? That's what law enforcement is telling us. None of this stuff is evidentiary value.
That's what they've said. And that's whose opinion matters, Betty. Not yours. Because you don't know what they have. You have a very tiny portion of a 15-minute video, Betty.
But when we look at it, it surely does seem like it's of high evidentiary value, because if you look at this case and you walk through it, it seems like...
No, it doesn't. Because you don't even know when that video was taken. And you can't make nothing out in the video, and there's no audio with it. But yeah, do you, boo.
Like all these pieces of puzzle are fitting together perfectly.
No. You're the only one with this puzzle.
Toward Katie and Chris. The only element missing is a missing son. Where is he? It seems like that is the only piece of the puzzle that's still left to be put in place.
That is the puzzle. What the fuck are you talking about? That is the puzzle. That is all that matters. Is Sebastian. None of this other crap. He is the puzzle. Betty.
It seems like everything else has been done because we know that Katie was there. People are trying now. I gotta be honest. Hold on one second.
Unbelievable. Nobody's gonna do what I missed.
Sorry, I still got gunk. We know Katie and Chris, if you look at all the information, everything that happened that night into that morning is awfully sus and did not happen any other time that they've been in that home. What do I mean by that? The lights going on and off. The front house going completely dark. The silhouette of somebody in that front window looking out, trying to see who's up and who saw them. And then
her dad's the one that saved that house. That house, yeah, her dad's the one that saved that house. That's how. He
lights on the outside of their house leading to a car, an SUV, a full-size SUV that was picked up on their neighbor's camera that appeared to be trying to be hidden from all cameras. Otherwise, why did they pull around to the house? Why did they park all the way by Kellen and walk? It doesn't make sense. These are suspicious behaviors. And while you can't see who the people are, you kind of understand who the players are. Why? Because they came from the Proudfoot's home, right? They came from the Proudfoot's home. And the fact that this boy doesn't have a whole lot of friends, was sheltered. As a matter of fact, so sheltered, the neighbors didn't even know he was there. They knew.
Oh, bull crap, Betty. Quit listening to Miss Bobby. She wasn't a direct neighbor, number one. She never met them or spoke to them, number two. And everything she said was gossip and rumor that she had gotten off Facebook groups, JLR, and you.
It doesn't sound like Katie took him out very often.
Oh my God, I can't.
like Katie actually went out to play with him in the yard to throw ball.
He was 15, probably not. And you know, she did work all day, Betty. And on the weekends, they did do things together. Things that a 15-year-old likes to do.
To take him to a park. It didn't seem like that was their thing. That's the stuff Seth did with his son because he cared about his son.
My Lord. I can't. Yeah, when he was a small child, Seth did those things.
He cared about his son's well-being. But
no one said he hasn't.
I'm like his mom. I just wanted him to go to his room and leave her the hell alone.
That's not, you don't know if that's how it was, and I don't believe that's how it was.
If you ask me. That seems what's more customary inside the Proudfoot home than anything. Yum, cheeseburger sounds good. All right, guys, time to go make us a cheeseburger breakfast. Big Mac Mike would love it. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. I'm praying for you and supporting your efforts, Betty. Oh, thank you. God bless you. God bless you.
Did I miss the part?
So we have some stuff. And then we find out that Chris and Katie run off while everybody, all these strangers are out there in the woods, breaking their back in the heat, trying to find their son. And they run off to Mississippi. What mother runs off to Mississippi?
She didn't run off, Betty. Sadly, she left her home for her own safety because of people like you and your little group harassing and stalking them. You take pictures everywhere they go. You threaten these people. You accuse them of horrific crimes with no evidence of anything. They're innocent. You go to their homes and record them and put them on your many platforms, according to you.
And now we find out that she can spend more time on me trying to get me in trouble over lies, her lies, that are going to come back and bite her.
Who's lying about you? I haven't seen anybody lying about you.
Than she did to ever even look for her son. Which reminds me, if you guys would like to...
Everything that they're stating you've actually done, Betty, your own videos show your guilt. So again, how was you lied about? Because you have been harassing them for months, stalking them, encouraging other people, outright asking other people to do it. You have threatened them, and you have went to their homes. There's a video of you trespassing on their property, Betty. You followed the in-laws. You followed and stalked Mr. Bowersox and then verbally assaulted him. In my opinion. You were behind him, Betty. He was not behind you.
The legal expense right now, it's about $2,500. Please consider sending those to my Venmo account or PayPal. Anything in those accounts over the next 30 days are going to be given to the Good Samaritan that helped me out with my legal expenses. When we have somebody that steps up to the plate and we'd like to contribute and take that weight off that one person, that would be very much appreciative, where we kind of spread it around. I can't stop thinking how CP and KP tried to hurt both Nina and Seth via litigation.
If you truly have an attorney, why are you avoiding service, Betty?
False allegations while taking their children away. It bugs me, in my opinion. It does. And not only that, but Sebastian was about to go to his father's, and it makes me wonder, what was
Makes me wonder that he didn't want to go.
going to tell his dad when he started living there and he started getting more comfortable and he realizes that life is a lot different over at his dad's house than with his mom. And they're constant.
Did you ever ask Seth what the cops were doing there that weekend? Just asking.
Bullying and mistreatment of Sebastian.
Again, there's no evidence of any of that. But there's been CPS involved on all ends with both the parents, sadly.
I was having fun with another person in the chat. I can't stop thinking. Okay, I got that one. We need to do a writing campaign to report Sumner County corruption to Jonathan Scarmetti, Tennessee Attorney General, P.O. Office, P.O. Box 20207, Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you. Thank you, Car Guy, for that. I took a picture of it. I'll start drafting a letter,
Oh,
a form
Lord.
letter. If people want to do their own wording, they can. But if they have a form letter, sometimes it's just easier to print, especially people that don't really have a lot of time but want to, contribute or do their part. If Sebastian was truly missing, she would be home every day searching and going nuts. KP knows where he is. Period. Come on, TBI, really? Yeah. And what about them putting them in the hot seat?
How do you know they haven't? Because they've been interviewed multiple times, Betty.
Why not start sending out? It seems like Sumner County is too busy trying to get.
So now she's encouraging everybody to write letters about how dirty the police department is.
KP and CP to like them.
And you know why, right? Because Betty got protection orders against her, so automatically the police department is dirty.
Right? Because they're losing a lot of respect of their community. I can tell you from the conversations I've had with community members and leaders in their area.
I don't believe any of that, Betty. And I wouldn't give two shits what my neighbors think.
They're losing faith in Craddock. They're losing faith in Craddock and his ability to bring this case home. This is a solvable case. This is a solvable case that they have. Now they only have one detective on it. They're waiting for it to get cold and to go into a filing cabinet so they can move on from this case. And it's our job to make sure that they cannot move on from this case. And that's exactly what we're going to do. Remind them that this case is going nowhere. It's not going.
Betty, you don't know nothing about law enforcement, do you? Detectives have multiple cases, Betty. Not unusual. Doesn't mean it's cold. It's just how it works.
Like dust in a filing cabinet. So I hope everybody comes out to the vigil. The vigil's in Clarksville. The gathering of voices is going to be at Sumner County Sheriff's Department. That's at 117. Me too. You might have to throw some of the addresses up here. I got to make a cake. We're going to have drinks, and we're going to make sure we clean up after ourselves as if we were never even there. That's right. Sebastian Army is not going away. Absolutely, it's not. All right, guys. Well, I have to get started. I've already read through this stuff several times. I didn't write my arguments down. I hope I remember everything I'm going to say in court, but I always believe that what needs on our side. But again, you just never know. You never know what's going to be said by opposing counsel. If there are arguments more compelling than my argument, right? Because that's really what it is when you go to court. It's who has the most compelling argument. There are arguments more compelling to be said. An order today, maybe we'll in court today you as well. I'm hoping we're going to have a great day as well. Again, I don't know what's going to go on. We have four issues that we're going to be discussing in court today, and I don't anticipate receiving an order today. Maybe we'll see which way the judge is leaning on some of the arguments, but I won't really know until we get the order. I'm hoping that I'm at least get favorable results on at least some of my stuff, right? Obviously, I worked very hard for this. I think we got the arguments on our side.
No, you don't, Betty. And he already filed for a dismissal yet again, Betty, on the same crap you've been filing.
But again, you just never know. You never know what's going to be said by opposing counsel. If there are arguments more compelling than my argument, right? Because that's really what it is when you go to court. It's who has the most compelling argument,
it's who has the facts. You don't, Betty.
Is it within the court's discretion? There's a lot of stuff here that are going to be within the court's discretion, and that's kind of where my motions are kind of lying, is whether the court will have discretion in my favor. So no, this is with the whale mouth lady, the lady that can't show her face but likes to show everybody else's face, the felon that can't get can't even work at a 7-Eleven. Remember, she was charged with contributing to the delinquency of a minor, so she can't even get a job at the 7-Eleven.
Oh my God, is she really going to twist that up? It was because somebody had a fake ID, Betty. It wasn't like she was out there giving stuff to minors. Somebody used a fake ID, Betty.
So, can't go court.
And it was at the store for, I think, beer or something. They used a fake ID.
No kinkles. Well, kinkles. So anyways, Mr. and Mrs. E, they bring up a lot of stuff, and I think there was some really, powerful information in their
Chica.
Crimecast, And I think it was about the direction of this case. When I was watching it and
Hey,
hearing
Coco.
it, they're talking about, at this point, because let's face it seems like Nick Barris is kind of getting a run for his money, right? And it seems like there's a lot of people that are a little hot with him, and he sounds like he's gaslighting, and that's really what it was about. Was
Okay.
is he gaslighting?
We'll move on because she's going to keep slamming Nick Barris. I got one more little thing to show you, and I'm going to let you people go because I kept you on here long enough. One more. I can't believe she did a breaking in Matthew Perry's hot tub case. Oh, my Lord. I think you guys have seen it, though. Yeah, I'm sure. I probably won't play much of this. Because you guys have seen this. Oh, wait. This is where we left off. I wanted to finish where we left off the other day. That live we were doing on hers. There's not much left of it. And then I'll end this. I'm working on some shorts with Betty saying stuff and showing what really was said. But this is where we left off the other day. Well, guys, don't forget to hit that like button for me. It's that YouTube requirement thing, Damn YouTube. And also, sub up if you're not subbed up.
More eyes on this case, not less.
Okay. This is where we left off.
Is it still Major and Bailey, or did you pull him off the case too?
Betty, who do you think you are that you can tell law enforcement they're not doing their job? Especially in this case. Especially. Because like I said, there's other kids missing. There's like 43 of them. Some of them kids would love to have some of this attention. They'd like them all-out searches with, on the ground, SAR rescue searchers, certified searchers, drones, dogs, planes, helicopters, you name it, boats. I'd love some of that attention. So I'm sick of hearing you saying how law enforcement hasn't done nothing.
No, they will keep saying no new leads. There's been leads coming in. I wonder if they...
because of people like you, there's a lot of false leads being called in, wasting precious manpower hours that could be going into the cases themselves. But no, because of people like you doing your crap, the attention's taken away from the missing.
Done forensic findings on
here we go
the
with
car on
forensics again.
his why did he keep his camper in a different state throughout this entire investigation? And what you bet that camper is now moved from Mississippi directly to Louisiana or wherever the hell he's working at?
Well, Betty, you just answered your own question. He uses that trailer to stay in because he goes from job site to job site because he's a crane operator, Betty. There's only so much time they do at a job site and they move on to the next. And you answered your own question, and people just listen to how stupid you sound because you just told on yourself again. He uses it to live in when he's working from job site to job site. Nothing unusual about that. Nothing rare. Nothing unique. My gosh.
That sheriff is as sharp as a marble? Yeah, sounds about right. Why won't TBI hand the case over? It's not that. Sumner County won't hand it over to TBI or the FBI. In order for the FBI to be involved there has to be federal charges that could come of this. And the problem is there is no possibility, the way it sits right now, that federal charges could come of this unless I'm missing something. The highest place that could take this case over would be TBI. And if Chris is buddies with the sheriff or people in the Sumner County Sheriff's Department, the chances of them wanting to relinquish their file over to TBI is going to be next to impossible unless they are forced to do so. And as a matter of fact, that teacher, what is it, Greensburg, or you guys know which one I'm talking about, where she was stabbed like 32 times, even in the back of her head and neck and everything.
Has nothing to do
and law
with
enforcement tried to say that it was a suicide attempt. And so the family,
it has nothing
had
to do with
the sheriffs
Sebastian
or the county to court to be in the hot seat.
Did you know you can work full-time while protecting your SSDI benefits? It's true. Contact.
And no matter how many distractions you try to take, I still ain't the one. Okay? They're trying to find everybody else to blame. Listen, lady, get life back. I'm hearing her boy's gone out of her life, which is done. But nothing to see over there, right? It all happened on February 26th, which is, 8 years. Her and Seth were together 8 years. Her boy's gone out of her life. She's living life. She's trying to get life back. I'm hearing that life isn't going quite her way. They're trying to find everybody else to blame.
You aren't hearing nothing, Betty, but some gossip, because you don't know. You don't know. I'm sure life isn't pleasant with your son missing and not knowing where he's at. Yeah, I'm sure that's hard to live with, Betty. You freaking piece of shit.
And listen, lady, we are not the one that disappeared your kid. Okay?
No.
So you can blame,
Lord.
you can try to blame Bullhornbetty all day long, but guess what? I still ain't the one. You are. You're the one in the hot seat. And no matter how many distractions you try.
They're not doing the distractions. That would be you manufacturing your drama that you did in Tennessee, and then you're going to turn it around now you're going to try to pin it all on Queen Bee. When it had nothing to do with her. You manufactured all that drama. You weighed down the police officer. You stalked and harassed and followed Mr. Bowersox. You, Betty. No one else. He went through a red light to get away from you. That speaks volumes.
To take the focus away from you and your husband, you're still the only ones in the hot seat.
Hey, Rebel Rose. Hey,
Mr.
Nobody. Did you get my emails? How are you? I've been seeing you around. Hey, Marie. I've been asking about you.
He was under your control, and you can't even tell us what happened to him, other than you put him to bed, which I highly doubt. I highly doubt.
I doubt she tucked him in at 15 either, Betty. I didn't tuck in my 15-year-old. I just didn't do it. And that don't make me a bad mother either.
Mama 3, are you serious? You've been watching Krama channels too long. Miss Lee, Mama 3, she got it. The law in Tennessee really needs to be changed when an alleged runaway is called in and immediately do forensic.
Oh, well, thank you. I just was worried because I haven't seen you around. I was just hoping everything's okay because, we don't allow people to have real lives outside of YouTube. Nope, not acceptable. Nope, never. You can't have like real life stuff. According to some.
That's what the directive is of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. But again, it comes down to improper training of law enforcement officers. It comes down to the fact that
God, here we go again.
There's not enough money to go around when these type of cases happen because everybody.
Yeah, blowhards like you fight for every penny. Just like you did over a damn traffic camera, Betty, to possibly slow traffic down so no more kids get hit by a car and murmur, taken out. You bitch about everything, blowhards like you. You need to worry about your own backyard instead of somebody else's backyard. Because at the end of the day, what you think about Tennessee or Sumner County does not matter. You do not hold a vote there.
Wanted to defund. And now you guys are seeing the results of all this defunding throughout our country. Mm-hmm. When kids go missing, we only have 8 days to search for them. If we can't find them in 8 days, oh well, not a problem. Not a problem at all. All you got to do in Tennessee is hide the body, and you'll never have to face repercussions because that's just the way Tennesseans like it, right? So if you want to unalive your kids, go to Tennessee. That's what I tell everybody. If that's your name of
I believe Florida has worse numbers than Tennessee, Betty.
Your game, go to Tennessee. All you got to do is hide the body. Make sure the body's never found. You're good as gold. Any other state, you'd be in jail. Just saying. But this horse manure that is going around, this manipulation.
Everybody's a bad mama from somebody who's never been a mother.
About me somehow collecting a super chat for steak on my channel is somehow complicit in something. No, actually, as a matter of fact, 2 people bought me steak that day. Only one was used. I haven't bought the steak with the other, you know. And at the end of the day,
Betty, did you go get yourself put on some kind of government watch list? If I can back this up, I'm going to show it. If I can back this up, I'm going to show it. You better, what did you do to get yourself put on a government watch list? I'm just asking if you are. I'll bet it before I actually show it. But yeah, we're working on that, Betty.
I have these garbage protective orders that lie, right? We're learning a little bit more and more about these protective orders. They try to say I'm a rioter. They try
Georgia girl stuck in Cali. I'm way late, but good. Oh, good morning. Thank you for coming in.
to say I'm a violent felon. I have never been convicted of a violent crime in my life. Ever. Not one violent crime have I ever been convicted of.
That's a MF lie. They literally just had a task force look and find 200 kids. It was multiple states, including Tennessee, Dodo. She's not going to give them credit for that. She won't bring that up because it doesn't fit her narrative.
If you're asking me if a dealer would call me and say, how's your experience with GM Financial been? Would you recommend I go there? I say, absolutely.
And these are the things that are in this affidavit. Again, nothing that I did to them. Just all this stuff that happened 20 years ago. It's bullshit. It's malicious. It's malicious prosecution. It's abusive process. And JLR is behind it. I guarantee it.
It is not malicious prosecution. It is not 20 years ago. And JLR is not behind it.
I guarantee it.
You can't guarantee that because you don't know that is factual. But then again, you don't know anything is factual, but you guarantee it. Okay.
And he handled it in person, so he had no paper trail. And you all know that because you know.
So JLR got in his little car, drove the whole way to the Proudfoots, had our secret rendezvous with the Proudfoots and the Bowerstocks. And they laid out this plan to put these fake protection orders and lie to the courts to get him on Betty. Then he jumped in his little car and he went on back to Florida and acted like he didn't go anywhere. Huh. Wow. You give him a lot of credit, don't you? Nobody's seen their secret meeting because you have them followed as soon as they leave their home. So how is it that you missed this? Because, those people would know who JR are. Just saying.
They were in Dollywood right before this stuff came out. So the proof is in the pudding. The man's a liar. He's manipulating his audience.
Because they were at Dollywood before this stuff come out. They're guilty. So now you're saying they met up at Dollywood? Somehow I don't believe that. Yeah.
To attack Seth, to attack me, and to attack Tony for no good cause other than him and his stupid woman got their feelings hurt.
Okay. Attack you, attack Seth, attack Tony. Well, he attacks the Proudfoots too. So at least he does it across the board. Unlike you, you're a tunnel rat. You're stuck in that one-way tunnel. But I don't hear him attacking you though, Betty. Because he says something about Tony or Seth is not an attack on you. Do you understand how you think this is about you when it's not? Because you're not part of this story. But this obsession you have, that because they talk about them, they're talking about you, is kind of creepy. It's kind of like you want to wear their skin kind of creepy, you know? You might want to take a step back.
This is what they're going to do every time they get their feelings hurt. You guys bet your butt we're never going to get another good story out of him or his Hot Mess Express bitch than this.
Oh.
And now they're trying to do everything they can behind the scenes to destroy me yet again.
What are they doing behind the scenes? Betty, you got protection orders placed against you because of you, because of your behavior, your actions, no one else's, yours. You totally get to take the credit for all that.
You guys know it. I know it. So why are you guys continuing to engage with this piece of shit, JLR? It doesn't make sense. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. And so far, he hasn't gotten one damn thing accurate in this case. Not one damn thing. He couldn't even do a good, a good background on Tony. He has to pass around a 40-year-old black man's background, passing it off as a 50-some-odd white man.
That's not true. I don't know what JLR did, but I can tell you that's not what I got on Tony. What I got on Tony was Tony. So that's some bullcrap story that Tony put out to the PI so they didn't dig in his background.
That's some bullcrap. And I kept saying it, and everybody's like, no, I had to point out that this has black male on it. And nobody
in the Cheap Cheese parking lot. Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I tried to give her some advice. I tried to tell her that she needed some knee pads on that wish list, but she didn't listen. Well over 40 persons of color missing kids, and I don't see this type of coverage for them. But this lady calls herself an advocate. Ma'am, get out of here with that BS. Exactly. I've been talking about all the kids that are missing all through this. You know, pisses me off because she could care less that some of that attention could be going to them.
Their due diligence, and yet again, here we go. This lady proven to be
Not
wrong.
her cash
right?
cow.
Why didn't he do his due diligence? Now you got Stephen Crabtree up there pointing out, look, fish. I can point out fish. See, I know how to use my sonar. Looky, fishy, fishy.
I would trust Stephen Crabtree with his boat and his sonar over you any day because you don't know nothing about a boat. You don't know nothing about boat motors, and you don't know nothing about sonar.
Really?
Really?
I literally, when I was watching that, I am literally busting out laughing.
Oh my God.
And it looked like Steve Crabtree was about to cry right there on his, right there live.
No, it didn't.
And I'm like, you have got to be joking me right now. This man looks like he's about to lose his stuff. Like, dude, do you have boobs or balls? I can't figure it out. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Because he doesn't treat people like assholes like you do. Okay, Betty.
I'm starting to think he got some boobs.
Hey, Sheila. Hey, Ann.
He definitely got way too much emotion for this cat right here. Okay? Good gracious. You need a safe space in a coloring book, bro. I would say quit messing with those little girls. They're starting to get you. You're starting to become one of them. Just saying. Does your wife know you stay up there calling him baby, sweetie, and honey? I can tell you right now, if I found out my man was on freaking tap with a whole bunch of women calling him baby, sweetie pie in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, dude, I'm from the...
I've watched Stephen Crabtree. I've been in his lives. His wife is right there. She's well aware of him being on TikTok. She's supportive. She's there. And he's never inappropriate with women in his chat, Betty. Stop it. It's just the way he talks. He's never inappropriate with women.
South. I might throw something at you. I don't believe in violence. Just want to make sure I clarify. No violence is allowed on the Bullhornbetty channel. Because let me tell you.
Boobs are tougher. They can take a beating. Just saying. You're right. Hey, go Bulldogs. She is very annoying. I fish every day. In my opinion, T is in a competition on who is a better fisherman when... Yeah, you're right about that.
If I was a violent person,
J-Dub
I'd beat the hell out of JLR. And
yeah, his wife watches him. She's right there a lot of the times.
Oh, no, right? They can say all the crap that they want, but at the end of the day, if I was really that violent, guess what? I would have definitely had been smiling in a freaking orange jumpsuit for that MFer. I should have, you know what? If he was an arm's length, I don't know. I might have tossed a skillet his way. Just saying. I don't believe in violence. If I
Oh my God.
did, I'd have beat the shit out of him. Just saying.
Mm-mm-mm.
Just saying. Someone released you threatening. I could care
Wow.
less. I've never been charged with anything. They can release whatever they want.
And I heard
I could get
she's,
to, and not only that,
I've
how many-
seen some clips of Betty talking about Queen Bee's deceased family members. How freaking disgusting do you have to get? How
Years ago.
freaking gross to even
Everyone's
bring
feeling the
something like
strain
that
of
up.
having to pinch pennies.
What the hell is wrong with this woman? And she's brought it up more than once, from my understanding.
nobody knows what goes on. You know, again, anybody can say anything about anyone. And what's on those body cameras can be portrayed. And not only that, but are they even, I don't even know if they're even completely there. And what information is added or subtracted, I don't know. I'm not looking into it. You guys can go out and watch and entertain yourself with my life history. Who cares? Doesn't matter. If I was a violent person, I'd beat the hell out of freaking JLR. Just saying. That man deserves it. There's no way it happened in 2021. I was on YouTube in 2021.
Okay. Well,
Hell, I
that's the
wasn't
date
with
on
my
the body
husband.
cam footage.
So there is that. Betty Smook, who are you? Why are you
Betty, then you better talk to law enforcement because that's the dates that they've listed. Sorry.
in my chat? Here, let me help you. Don't tell me what to do on my own channel. You don't like it, go make your own channel. I bet you nobody would listen to your shit there either.
Oh. Okay.
Makes me think Tennessee needs some laws changed. Yes, they do.
Oh, don't
They
we
do.
all?
That's not, and that's we have more cases in Tennessee than any other state.
Yeah.
And that's
Because
that's
that's what you do, Betty. Actually, there's not more cases in Tennessee than any other state. But that's where you latch on to, where you can keep going back. And I noticed you stay within a certain radius of Florida. And I think it's the driving. But you wear your welcome out in locations. And then you move on to the next location. And you're about there in Tennessee because you've gone further than you have in any other one. Tennessee is not going to put up with it. And they're going to come back at you legally. Great for them. It's awesome. I'm all there for it. It sucks the law enforcement hours you're wasting now. But you'll move on to your next neighborhood real soon here.
that is the truth of the matter. We have more kids in the state of Tennessee that we
You've heard her mention it in two
Gracious.
different clips now?
yeah, you seem like you've got some mental problems there, Purple. So why don't you go take a pill? Call your doctor, go to your therapist. Hey, Betty, Memphis doesn't know about Sebastian Howe. I'm telling you, I had to go. I went to the stores. I could tell you. That's exactly what I said. Nobody knew this kid was missing. That's why I went to the stores and started having them pull their cameras. Nobody was there.
Betty, nobody pulled cameras for you, and they're not allowed to give you footage, Betty, or let you see the footage. And you're not to take pictures of an innocent man into stores and tell people that he's responsible for his stepson's disappearance.
I like walking and talking in stores and restaurants. I knew that nobody had been down there. Why? Because law enforcement makes a shit ton of mistakes.
Okay.
That's why. And I'm sorry, but law enforcement did not do this case justice. Neither did TBI. Nothing had happened.
Oh my God. TBI, Northern County Sheriffs did this case justice. They have done everything. They have done every kind of search you can imagine on the ground, in the water. They've used any and all equipment, including dogs. They've even used SAR certified search teams like EquiSearch and stuff. Yeah. But they've done nothing.
Happened in Mississippi. I went to
All the while, there's 43 other kids missing, mostly persons of color, that aren't getting any of this attention. That even just a fraction of this attention could mean the world. It could mean a big difference. But no, we just get a flyer with very little information on it.
the Lowe's, the Home Depot. I went to all these gas stations and everything. I went to Murphy's. I went to Walmart's. I went everywhere and asked their, loss prevention people to look back in their videos. So if they seen Chris, Katie, or Sebastian, to call TBI immediately. No, nobody knew squat. Nobody knew squat. And again, you would think that if Chris was in that area, why hasn't law enforcement reached out to anybody from law enforcement in that area? But hey, they're turning over every stone. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh, no.
Don't forget to hit your like button on the way in or the way out. I don't really care. I just wanted to come here and let you guys know that the head clown of the circus is at it again. You guys can listen to him. Please don't send me any more of his shit, okay? I know you guys want to say, oh, but just listen. No, don't send me any of his
Yeah, you don't have to send it to her because she goes and watches it firsthand for herself.
shit, okay? There's nothing that man has got that has been right so far. Why would I want to listen to a bunch of horse manure?
You use most of the gossip and rumors that you spread come from his Facebook group. You use his anonymous posts all the time, Betty. You use his fake his not reliable or credible neighbor, Miss Bobby. That's not so much of a neighbor. Just happens to live in the same neighborhood, but is not a direct neighbor. Doesn't even know the Proudfoots. But yeah, go ahead and run with that, boo. Like you say, I'm just talking like you now, boo. Ugh.
If you guys would like to listen to them horse manure, God bless you.
Uh-huh.
But don't start funneling it into my ears. You guys want to listen?
Yeah, because you go watch it for yourself, right? You don't miss a thing JLR does, and you know it.
You want to believe it? You want to? You know what? The man lies. He's a manipulator. He has lied about everything when it comes to this case ever since he got his feelings hurt from Seth. And I have been saying that from the beginning, and he keeps stepping it up, and he keeps double downing, triple downing, quadruple downing.
He also goes at the Proudfoots harder, if you ask me. I mean, I don't watch him, but I do know he goes at the Proudfoots hard. Do I believe he got his little feefies hurt in the beginning? Absolutely. Because he couldn't stream live. But Seth used him in the beginning. Remember, Seth went to him. And Seth was also having issues with, there was problematic behavior with Seth and searchers. Might want to go back and investigate that, Betty.
This man is not a good man, okay?
Oh.
I don't know how to put that out there to you.
Well, he sure was a good man when you were in that chilly parking lot a lot with him. Telling you, put them knee pads on your wish list. They'll make a world of difference for you. But yeah, he sure was a good man when you were enjoying Little Papa. And that's your words, not mine. You named him Little Papa. I'm just going by what you say. You're the one with the experience there, not me. Thankfully.
Okay, he's a creep. And if you don't believe me, just go watch his videos from 2 years ago and look at the change into him now.
Oh.
He's a disgusting individual with no heart. And I have no respect for that man. And he has lost the respect of journalists that he used to work with around the country because of his shenanigans. Nobody wants to deal with JLR. Okay, except you guys. That's it. That's it. Just you guys.
Betty, he was never, he was, he was never a respected journalist around the world. Excuse me. The illusions run deep. He's always been JLR. He's been the same he is now as he was 2 years ago. The only difference now is he has a girlfriend that he shows off, that he truly seems to care about. And he puts her out there for all to see. That's the only difference.
Even his freaking girlfriend was kicked out of Project Veritas because she's not a very good person. Okay, she's an idiot.
Oh.
She's an absolute idiot that thinks her shit don't stink. She's ugly. She's being used by Jonathan. Clearly, he doesn't mind banging somebody.
No. Betty, she's not ugly. She's far from ugly. I think she's very pretty. And I don't know why you keep calling her fat, because the girl's not fat. She's not fat. You're probably bigger than she is. So what, though, if she was? It makes no difference. But she's a very pretty woman, and she seems smart. Do I think she's any better than you as far as crap you'll do? No. Looks-wise, definitely an upgrade. Sorry, my opinion. But definitely a major upgrade. Sorry, Betty.
buddy, to get his way,
Hey,
right?
Amethyst.
Because that's what he did in the 1990s with Kim.
Good to see you. How are you?
A hefty lady that really liked him and all.
Misinformation. Magnolia is petite and beautiful. Yeah, she's very pretty. And she seems to keep herself put together when she comes on camera. You are a female version of your weirdo fantasy BF jail. Yeah, we still have not confirmed if it was a two-sided relationship here. I mean, do I think there was some visits in the Chi-Chi's parking lot? Absolutely. Absolutely. Do I think she went over to his house a lot? Absolutely. I just believe all that. But I think he kept it a secret because I don't think in his head it was that kind of a committed relationship. But then, he could think he's a player. We heard about Aunt Mary, in that cabin in the woods and stuff, I'll have to be bringing out some Heels videos. But yeah, I'm telling you, y'all, we could make some money. You know how much prawn pays, right? We could have Nightmare Prawn featuring the likes of Bullhorn and Little Papa, or the backseat situation with the dolly and the car rocking. I'm telling you, it's what nightmares are made of. People would buy it. We could make money. She was a booty call. Call it what it is. A man will blink anything that's or likes to go into the parking lot at Chi-Chi's. Candy wrapper. She is upset. She can't have them. And she needs to give the man back his favorite fork. She's like holding the fork hostage. Free the fork. Give the man back his favorite fork.
All he did was bang her and used her for a place to hide out while the cops were looking for her.
Who?
I feel sorry for Kim.
Oh, how did we get to Kim? What happened? How are you bouncing around from female to female? That wasn't when you were around. You weren't his, what you call yourself, his ex at the time. You didn't. So what's it matter?
Yeah. But that's JLR. He was like that in the 90s. He's like that in 2020s.
Oh.
So you guys can make your decisions. I don't care. Quit sending me his crap. I don't care about him.
Oh.
Okay? He is a liar.
Oh.
He is a manipulator, and he will not stop lying to save his life. This is a man that didn't mind putting his parents in jail. Okay?
Oh. Betty, does your audience realize that every time you go live, that 92.5% of everything you say is what you said in the previous video 2 hours prior to that? Do they understand that? Do they even listen? I mean, I think they don't listen or pay attention because they only need to watch you once to know what you're going to say for the whole day and night. Because you say the same stuff. But JLR did all that. But you were good to be by his side when you were there, right? When Little Papa was doing you right, you were good with it. Okay.
I'm done. Have a great day. God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. And remember, it's
He
not
went to
about
jail
jack
for
off.
fraud. Yeah. He didn't go to jail for any violence. He went to jail for fraud. But Betty don't understand.
It's about Sebastian, Wayne Drake, Rogers.
Are you driving way less
puts
than
that
you used
boy
to?
in at the
Do you have a
end.
clean driving record? Are you over
Are
25?
you kidding me?
Do you not have?
Are you kidding me? She put him at the end of her crap. Wow. True tragedy pimp. Right there is a tragedy voucher, a trauma voucher. Right there. There you have it. True definition. True definition. Wow. I don't know. What do you guys think about that thumbnail? Is, oh my gosh. I want to, wait a minute. I know I shared it. I just got to find it. The thumbnail was just too much. Now she's copying Dolly with his thumbnails. And Justin with his, here it is. his wanky thumbnails. Always making fun of the Bower socks and the Proud Puts. It's insane. I don't put them in my thumbnails. Because I'm not talking really specifically about them. I'm calling out these guys. Here's Betty's thumbnail. She's proud of that thumbnail. She's super proud of that thumbnail. The thumbnail was a moronic move on BHB's part if she's wanting to be arrested. It will not go well, or like she is hoping. Yeah. BHB, have you ever realized that the guilty dog barks the loudest? And I don't hear anyone else allowing the elephant mouth to override their parakeet. Like you are. Saying Captain Bean looks wise. M is an upgrade, and JLR is proud to be with them versus JLR wanted no public acknowledgement of even her being done at Chili's. BHB was JLR's stooge while he was on probation. Could be. Hey, Socks, too. Betty don't ever guess what she talked about. I don't know. Something's going on. Told y'all she's the idiot. Literally proved my point in 5 seconds. A new world record. This thumbnail's gross. This thumbnail is gross. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. She really thinks she's above the law and those protection orders mean shit. Betty, you're going to F around and find out. You really going to F around and find out. She gave a new name to parking lot pimping, and now I have the heebie-jeebies. I will never look towards any cars in a Chili's parking lot for fear of having an eye busted. The ones in the back, yeah. If that car is a rockin', don't go a knocking. He went to jail for fraud, pretended to be a school shooter uncle, and has scammed people on the internet for years. Now he's always done this stuff. Yeah, and she was fine with it all when she was right there claiming to be his woman, which there's been no proof of that. But according to her, she's still holding his favorite fork hostage. Free the damn fork. Hey, Terry. Salacious, disturbing, and defamatory. And on top of that, she was Katie in that image. Yeah, beyond disgusting. Yep, I agree. KP protects our country. She wouldn't harm her child. Yeah, I don't believe the parents did anything. None of them. And I believe he's going to come home. Yeah, she is. And she claims somebody put down the $2,500 retainer for her attorney. But nothing's been shown and she's still avoiding service. So, yeah. And the court is aware that she's avoiding service, and all this just makes it look worse for her because she's bragging about having an attorney to represent her, and yet the attorney has done nothing on record and is also not taking service because the attorney can take service for her. Bitter backstage Betty needs a 5150 ASA. Yep. Hey, Smurfette. Yeah, I don't get it either because if you listen to Betty, she tells on herself. And then to sit there and have somebody's kid or grandkid try to climb in a pickle bag, which is really just, that was an army duffel bag. But and then asking more people to do it and send her the videos. It doesn't matter what you show her. She's never going to admit she's wrong. And the only one talking about her bag is Betty and company. It's not, I don't know. But this is going too far. This is beyond too far. And hey, the Black Widow channel. Cool name. Welcome in. Girl next door. Um, Betty is claiming, and she said it in her live this morning, she's planning on leaving a couple days early to go to Tennessee. Now, I don't know if that's because court's on the 22nd. I, I don't know. She claims it's to do research on the bridges and law enforcement and Chris. They know what vehicle she's in. They know she has a Florida tag. She's going to be in that area. It's not that huge of an area. She's going to be concentrating on certain places. I think they would have no problem finding her to serve her. She can try to go incognito, not say her location, but she's already made it clear she's going there. And they could get her served before her protest because Betty wants it done during the protest. She wants to be violated during that protest. She wants that viral video. She wants to come out here and grift her ass off, play the victim. And the people that are helping her financially do this, I'm sorry, that's bad. That's messed up. How would they feel if it was, hey, Nicole, if it was, yeah, the bridges in Sumner County. Yep. How? And she's also curious and making comments about going to check out the new sheriff that's getting sworn in the day of the protest, which I believe she tried to go beforehand because she's not going to miss the protest that she inserted herself into and made up. Hey, Brad, that was never a part of it to begin with. Yeah, but next time she'll have to show up in person if there's a next time. But oh yeah, she is at home. There's plenty of video of her acknowledging that they're trying to serve her. She's aware of the court dates. She's claimed she's got an attorney, but yet there's no attorney of record as of last time I checked. It could have been updated. I will recheck. I don't know. Yeah, I agree, Candy Rapper. I don't understand it because she caught. Hey, Sherry, did I say it right? Cheryl. I think I might have. Hey, sorry about that. I'm terrible with names. I think that she's caused all this for herself. Her actions, her behavior. This is not on the Proudfoots or the Power Sox. She gave these people no choice. It's gross. It's all gross. But I've been on here a long time. It is almost, oh my God, it's almost 12:30. And I thank you guys for hanging with me. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. Let me know if there's anything you specifically want to talk about. We will do that. Depending on what goes on tonight or who's live, I might end up popping up later tonight, like after 10 o'clock. I don't know. If not, I will see you on these YouTube streets or sometime this weekend. But yeah, you'll see me around. And like I said, I might pop on tonight. I don't know. Depends on how my night goes. But I got housework to do. I gotta, housework. I dread it. I'm over it, but I gotta clean my bathrooms. And figure out what I'm gonna feed these kids, because Lord knows these kids want to eat. Hey, JD. As soon as JD, that's pretty. I like the sunflowers too. Hey, Patty. I gotta feed, the kids expect to eat. I don't know why they expect to eat when they come home from school. You'd think that they would know better by now. But no, right away they want to eat. They're starving like they've never ever been fed. The judge could ban her from the internet like Benny Keys. Oh, yeah. Hey, Turtle Lou. That's what I was saying that, Mr. Nobody. I was saying about how I know other creators that have protection orders placed against them And because they were doing it on their lives and in chats and stuff, it was where they just weren't allowed to make videos about the person. They weren't even allowed to bring the person's name up. And I was hoping, considering that's what Betty does, a lot of it. Yeah, she's going to say she's suing for civil rights, and her civil rights aren't being violated. It's okay if she violates everybody else's civil rights. Arguments heard on a motion to strike. Google subpoenaed. Motion for accounting of earmark funds and motion to limit deposition questions. All three motions denied for reasons stated on the stated on the, and another one, too much to copy and paste. YouTube won't let me. Well, thank you for the update. That is awesome. All three of her motions were denied. The earmarked funds and motion to limit deposition questions. I love it. Motion to strike Google subpoena denied. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh no, they're not home yet. They don't get home till 4:30. But I gotta clean my bathrooms. Ugh. I should have did them the other day, but I was busy, so now I gotta make up for it. But I will be back maybe later tonight, if nobody else is up live. I don't know. But thank you all for hanging with me. This is the first time I ever did an early morning live. And I kind of like it, but it's kind of hard when there's so many other creators that go live. So maybe once or twice a week I can do a morning one. And the rest will just fit in where we can fit in. Yeah, Mr. Nobody's very talented. Oh, we got t-shirts coming up, Black Widow. We've got Just Say No to Bullhorns. Yeah, and we've got the hater bus, because Betty has a hater bus, according to Betty. I still don't know what a hater is, but yeah, we got a hater bus. And I think I'm going to do one with my emblem, or my channel name. And I got a couple other ideas. Mr. Nobody. Yeah, somebody can drop Mr. Nobody's link. Mr. Nobody's very talented. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Here, I'll get his link real quick. Let me drop it. I figured out a trick to it. It took me forever. Everybody else probably has known about it, but nope, not me. But I figured out a trick to it now. There we go. There's Mr. Nobody's link. Mugshot shirts. Oh my gosh, people love them. Hey, WSU. I don't know. You guys think that... thank you, Sheila. You guys think... I don't know. I'm hoping that Betty doesn't get her wish and she doesn't get the scene she wants to get them silver bracelets put on. I think law enforcement is staying on top of this. I'm hoping that they see her for what she is. I don't know. I don't know if they're watching her lives, because they can clearly tell what she's planning. I mean, it's so obvious what she's trying to set up. And I hope they pop that balloon and don't let it happen. But hey, Bark Bunch. And really, Katie or one of the Bower Sox, all they have to do is be on the street and Betty has to leave. I'm sorry, but I'd do it. To get her out of my town, leave us alone, I'd do it. But her main reason for going there is not this case. It's the Trump rally. Trump is speaking. That's why she was always planning on going there. It just so happened that this bike run for the Humane Society or the animal shelter came up, and then people reached out and had Sebastian's, connected to it. And then they decided to set up another vigil, which Betty had nothing to do with none of it whatsoever. She was not involved in any way. Well, Betty's got to be in on everything. So then she decided, and her words, not mine, that she was going to organize a protest to demand that law enforcement clear Seth, do forensics, and do their job in this case. They're not going to clear Seth. She can demand all she wants, but those other things have been done. She just don't want to hear that the forensics has been done. We've been telling her for weeks and weeks. And law enforcement has worked their tail off on this case. So, yeah. And then, it was, people were like, no, you can't say that because of what's going on. And it wasn't Betty who changed the name. I believe it was from either her TikTok chat or something, but they didn't want no parts of it either. And they didn't want it to be like Betty carries on. But all it will take is one person with a big mouth to shoot off their mouth, and that will give Betty the green light, and she will go. She will go. If she thinks there's somebody there going to act with her. I'm hoping a lot of people don't show up. I really, truly am. Because they're showing up for all the wrong reasons. They're not showing up for Sebastian. It's for Betty. It's for Seth. Hey, Wonder Woman. It's crazy. But tonight when I come back, we're going to do some Spirit Seeker. If I can come back tonight. We're going to do some Spirit Seeker. The thing in the wall. And who knows if Betty's going to pop up with anything else today. I don't know. We'll just go cruising these streets and see whatever we can see. Or maybe just hang out and talk. Who knows? But again, thank you guys. Hey, Miss ERN. They might be. I haven't looked at them. But let me know what you think in the comments. Please hit that like on your way out. If you're not subbed up, please sub up. And also, we have pool memberships with cool badges now, courtesy of a fantastic member who made them for our channel, for our membership. You can be a poolside misfit. We're the best misfits on the YouTube streets. We're the wildest, too. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging. I'll see you on these YouTube streets. Bye, all.